All right, we are live. So, Max Nation, I'm UngarToTheMax. That's my co-host, Seaboss. What is this, episode 4 of Pushback now?
3 or 4, it's one of those two.
Yeah, I believe it's episode 4. And this is our biggest show of the year.
Probably the biggest show we've done so far.
Yes, it's for sure the biggest show we've done since coming together. Even since we originally called the show Step It Up, which that is what we called it in the beginning, but of course it's now called Pushback. And before we get any further, if you haven't done so already, make sure you punch that subscribe button like a UFC fighter. Hit the like button with the Judas Effect, courtesy of Chris Jericho, or
curb stomp that notification bell, courtesy of Seth freaking Rollins.
Oh, right. You said you were changing that up every week.
Alternating. It's going to be Edge Spear, Curb Stomp.
Okay. So for our first segment, 2 offers were made or were submitted to purchase the Washington Commanders. First, the Josh Harris Mitchell Rails Group, which now includes Magic Johnson, submitted a fully financed bid that meets Dan Snyder's $6 billion asking price. And then Canadian billionaire Steve, I'm going to try and say his last name, Apostolopoulos, has also submitted a $6 billion
I'm not even going to try there.
offer. So what do you think of all this? That maybe the Commanders are actually going to be sold?
Well, they need to, because Dan Snyder's a not so good person.
No. He is probably the worst owner in the NFL, I would say.
One of them. I'd say that, well, in terms of shady business dealings, absolutely he is. But in terms of, like, team ownership, I got to give it worse to Haslam.
Yeah, the Haslams are definitely in the conversation.
Although in terms of stadium upkeep, yeah, there's no field worse than FedEx Field. I mean, 2 seasons ago, we saw an entire section of seating collapse.
Yes. And the stadium's not even in Washington. It's in Landover, Maryland.
Oh boy, that's even worse, because now they're affecting the Baltimore area.
It's like, well,
I mean, we have thoughts on the Ravens and
yes,
that situation. Browns fans are calling it the Great Revenge for '96.
We could have included a segment on today's show about Lamar Jackson,
but we just do not care.
But I guess
we really don't.
Yeah, it's like with Aaron Rodgers. Like, we had the one segment talking about it. It's like there's nothing new.
All the big names are talking about it, and that's all they talk about. There's other stories in sports, people. That's why we're here to cover those.
But and even with that, it's like, oh, what's Lamar Jackson going to do? Is he going to be traded? Is he going to play for the Ravens? And, like, he requested a trade, apparently back on March 2nd. That's all anybody was talking about today. It's like, what? And everybody's talking
about it then. They're talking about it now.
It's because Lamar put out a tweet about it. All that. And people are talking about, oh, could the Washington Commanders possibly trade for Lamar?
Right.
And it's just like, okay, I get it. Those are the big stories, but you're not talking about anything new anymore. It's like, is this trade between the Packers and Jets actually going to happen? It could. Like, oh, Aaron Rodgers and the Packers stopped talking a while ago. Okay, big deal.
I also heard that the team that's clearly the front runner for Lamar Jackson is actually Tampa Bay. And I'm like, well, they just went out and signed Baker Mayfield for nothing if they're going to try and get Lamar Jackson. Unless they're going to try and trade Baker Mayfield back within our division.
Huh?
Because they have Baker Mayfield, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right?
Yeah, but you said trade Baker Mayfield back. You're saying
Within
they
our
would trade
division
him for
for Lamar Jackson.
Oh.
I don't see it. I don't see it either.
I think
so. They're just going to have 2 first-round picks from the 2018 draft, one of whom has yet to live up to any potential, and the other one who has an MVP but no playoff success. Just one playoff win?
Something like that.
And he got shut down by the Titans. He lost to Ryan Tannehill.
Yes. Yeah.
The 2019 NFL MVP, folks.
Yes.
He's just a more mid Michael Vick.
Wow. All right. I love how we started that segment out with talking about the Commanders, and it did turn into Lamar Jackson, even though we said we weren't going to. All right.
Just had to bring that up.
All right.
Just had to bring it up.
Anyway, on to our second segment. Who could have predicted this Final Four?
No one.
I mean, there's no 1 seeds, no 2 seeds.
None of the blue bloods.
Well, no. UConn is a blue blood.
They're more of an honorary blue blood. They're not like...
This is their 6th Final Four appearance. They've got 4 national championships, 2014, 2011.
I hated that 2011 one because
it was against Butler, I know. 2011, 2014, 2004, and I believe they have one other in like 1999 or something like that. But
yeah, but like when you talk about the blue bloods, it's Kansas, North Carolina, Duke, and Kentucky. That's it. Villanova. I've heard people say Villanova.
Yeah, because people were saying last year's Final Four was all the blue bloods because it was Villanova, Kansas, North Carolina, Duke.
No Kentucky, sad.
Right. But
you can definitely make a case for UConn, but I'm just saying they're considered more of an honorary position.
I get your argument, but I would say they are a blue blood. But anyway, so we've got Florida Atlantic, a number 9 seed, taking on San Diego State.
Oh boy.
And then Miami of Florida taking on UConn.
The U.
So your national championship is either going to be a 9 seed against a 5 seed, or a 9 seed against a 4 seed, a 5 seed against a 5 seed, or a 5 seed against a 4 seed. What?
Welcome to the March Madness. They upped the madness this year.
Yes. I haven't seen a national championship like this. I know the championship isn't set, but the last time I remember a national championship being this bizarre is the last time UConn won it in 2014 when they beat Kentucky. It was a 7 seed against an 8 seed.
Right. Even though they're it was blue blood against blue blood.
See, you just called UConn a blue blood.
Honorary blue blood, but it's semantics. Don't care.
I see how it is. But at this point,
the words.
At this point, does Florida Atlantic really feel like a Cinderella?
I don't know. The only Cinderella was the team that somehow shocked the world and beat Purdue.
Oh, Fairleigh Dickinson.
Yeah. Who did they lose to?
FAU, Florida Atlantic, in the second round.
So I guess they did take that Cinderella spot from them.
Then again, you could say Princeton was the Cinderella because they were a 15 seed and made it to.
They were the Cinderella until a 16 seed upset a 1 seed.
Yeah, but Princeton made it farther than they did.
That is true. They made
Prin-
it how far?
Sweet 16, I believe, because they lost to Creighton.
Ah,
Big East actually did pretty well in the tournament because they got Xavier and Creighton to the
Elite Eight.
Creighton got to the Elite Eight. Xavier got to the Sweet 16. Marquette went out in the second round.
Unfortunately, Butler did not make the tournament.
UConn's in the Final Four.
Yeah, the Big East does have a lot of good teams in it.
Yeah. And people were making a big deal because Ed Cooley, the head coach at Providence, who's in the Big East, left and became the head coach of Georgetown, who's also in the Big East, and people were making a big deal about that. Like, why are you leaving one Big East team to go to another? Like, seriously?
Right.
That's not a big deal.
Right.
Like, people do that all the time.
Yeah.
Like, you could see, let's say Kevin Stefanski got fired for some reason. He could end up being the Bengals head coach. Is somebody going to make a big deal about that? I don't know.
Someone will. Someone will.
Yeah. But anyway, like,
if I know any Browns fan, anyone that goes to a team within our division immediately gets labeled as a traitor. Remember how we treated Joe Hayden when he went from the Browns to the Steelers?
Yes. And again, I'm not saying Kevin Stefanski is going to be fired or anything. I'm just using that as
his seat is a little on fire right now.
Okay, fair. We can talk about that in an upcoming show.
Right.
As we get closer to Browns season. But I don't know what to make of this Final Four. I really don't.
The only team I really want to win at all at this point is Miami, and that's because I have family that are Hurricanes fans. So,
I mean, at this point, the team I would like to see win it is the Huskies, because I'm actually a bit of a UConn fan. They've been one of my favorites.
Okay, so we're going head to head on this one.
But
directly.
I'm Villanova first, but
Butler first.
But
Butler before anyone.
But even though like Villanova and UConn are rivals, I've always liked the Huskies, like Shabazz Napier, Kemba Walker.
I don't like them at all.
So, yeah, anyway, yeah. So Miami plays UConn and Florida Atlantic. I think the championship's going to end up being UConn San Diego State.
I think it's going to be Miami Florida Atlantic, and it's going to be an all Florida championship.
If Houston had, I don't know that they would have been the first, but if Houston had won or had made it to the Final Four, they would have been playing in their home city because the Final Four is in Houston this year.
Oh, I want to say that has happened before.
I don't know. But check this out. The women's Final Four and the men's Final Four are both in the same state.
Right. With the women's Final Four being in what? Arlington?
Dallas. They do it.
Oh, they do it at NBA Stadium, don't they?
Right. They do it at the Mavericks Arena. So
they don't play at Jerry World.
No. When the women's Final Four is here next year, it's going to be at the FieldHouse.
I
would love to actually go to either the Final Four games or the championship game for that.
I wouldn't mind that either. It's night out. It's college basketball.
Yeah. It's not like the Browns have a stadium where we can have the men's Final Four here. Build a freaking dome, Haslams. It's not that hard.
Jerry the King Lawler wants WrestleMania in Cleveland. Make it happen. Yes, Lincoln Financial Field doesn't have a dome, and they're hosting Mania next year. And arguably a worse weather conditioned state in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that one is a little bit odd to me, but we'll get to WrestleMania later in the show. We will. We will. That's a huge part of this.
That's like that's why I'm here.
That's the only reason I'm here tonight.
I'm here to talk wrestling, and more wrestling.
We'll get to the wrestling.
I know.
Don't worry. But
speaking of big things, there's a hold on. There's a big NBA game tonight, isn't there?
What?
So, from what I'm hearing from my sources in my head, the Milwaukee Bucks and the Boston Celtics, the number 1 and number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference, are playing each other on Is it tonight?
No.
Why are we talking about it?
Because it's on Thursday. It's Thursday, and since we're not doing the show on Thursday, I figured we would talk about it.
Why I thought it was tonight?
No. Nice try.
Random NBA Tuesday games, man, they'll get you.
I mean, the Cavs are playing the Hawks tonight. Actually, that game is happening right now. Are the
Hawks even in the playoffs?
Yes, actually. The Hawks right now are the 8th seed.
So they're not in the playoffs, they're in the play-in.
Correct. Right now, the Hawks are ahead 20-19 with 2:40 to go in the first quarter.
Wow.
But yes, on Thursday, the Milwaukee Bucks and Boston Celtics are going head-to-head. These are the top 2 teams in the Eastern Conference, and in fact, I believe they have the best 2 records in the NBA, period. I'll double-check on that, though. Yep, they have the top 2 records in the NBA. Celtics are only 2 games behind the Bucks for the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, and this is the 3rd and final meeting between the 2 teams this season.
That's gonna be big. That's gonna be whoever wins this might take first in the coming days.
Right, and here's the thing: Giannis and Drew Holiday both are dealing with injuries, so we'll see if they're able to play.
I mean, I would just rest them for the playoffs at this point.
Yeah, but think about it. If you're the number 1 seed in the East, no offense to the Cavaliers or the New York Knicks, but that path to the Eastern Conference Finals and the NBA Finals is much easier than if you're the number 2 seed. Because if you're the number 2 seed, you have to play whoever ends up getting the 7 seed.
Right.
And then if you win that, you have to play either Philly, Milwaukee, or Boston, whoever ends up getting the number 3 seed. And then once you get out of that 7-game war, because most likely a series between any of those 2 teams is going to be a 7-game series, then you have to play the other team most likely in the Eastern Conference Finals. Whereas if you get the 1 seed, that means you play the number 8 seed in the first round. You win that series probably in 5 games or whatever.
5 games at most. If it takes you to 7 and you're the 1 seed, you are a pathetic 1 seed.
It depends on who the number 8 seed is.
True.
And then if you get to the second round, you're either playing the Cavs or the Knicks, which they're both good teams, but they're not great teams.
However, the Cavs have been known to shock everyone.
True, but still, like, let's say Milwaukee's the number 1 seed, as much as I love the Cavs, and you see how much I love the Cavs, I would pick Milwaukee in that series.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, yeah, it's Milwaukee. They're always gonna be like a problem,
right? So that's how crucial this game is. Like this could give the winner the tiebreaker when the season comes to an end on April 9th. And last season, Boston had home court advantage against Milwaukee in the second round, and that's why the Celtics won Game 7, because they were at home, which meant their role players were able to step up and play better. So
Yeah.
I think this is a gigantic game with major playoff implications, and not just like in terms of first round, but in the
this is definitely in terms of like who's going to be the first seed, or who could potentially be the first seed in the playoffs,
Right. The Bucks want to get back to the finals and do what they did in 2021. The Celtics were in the finals last year. They want to, as your hashtag says, finish the story.
Now, on the topic of the NBA and games that have major playoff implications, let's talk about one that, as you said, does have first-round implications, and that is Friday's game at Rocket Mortgage FieldHouse between the Cleveland Cavaliers and the New York Knicks.
Yes, which shout out to our friend Gangrene David. He is a major New York Knicks fan, but he's taking a long hiatus from YouTube. Hopefully he comes back at some point. But anyway, yeah, like you said, it's looking like New York and Cleveland are going to collide in round one of the playoffs right now, in round one of the playoffs this season. The series so far has been all about home court, because New York won both games at the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. And the Cavs won the lone home game at Rocket Mortgage FieldHouse thus far. So, if the Knicks win the series, or win Friday night's game, they win the regular season series 3-1, and they would be the first team to win a game in the opponent's gym.
Right.
Which, like we said with Celtics Bucks, that could possibly give them the tiebreaker if the two teams are tied in the standings when the season comes to a close on April 9th. Although right now, the Knicks are trailing the Cavaliers by 5 games in the standings. So most likely they're not going to be in a tie, and the Cavs will have home court advantage. But still, that doesn't diminish the implications of this game for me at all. In fact, so much so, I'm calling this the biggest home game of the season for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Oh, I absolutely agree there.
Yeah. Actually, the 3 biggest home games of the season for the Cavs have all been this month, because you had March 6th against the Celtics, March 15th against the Philadelphia 76ers. That's the game where the 76ers turned into the Cavs' biggest rival, in my opinion. And then you have this game on Friday against the Knicks.
Right.
So, yeah, like I said, Cavs lead New York by 5 games in the series. So,
yeah.
Or by 5 games in the standings, I should say. But, yeah, this is going to be a huge game.
Absolutely it is.
Because New York's going to key in on Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland. So I want to know who's going to be that other guy that steps up and says, give me the ball. I can beat the Knicks.
It might be one of our bigs. It might be Jared Allen or Evan Mobley.
Right.
Or who knows? It might be something random like, I don't know, Isaac Okoro just popping off.
Yes. So before the trade deadline, I think I was telling you this, I wanted the Cavs to trade for somebody like Kyle Kuzma, Kelly Oubre, Cam Reddish, Josh Hart, guys, Tim Hardaway Jr., guys like that. And it's for scenarios just like this. Because, again, the Knicks are going to say, Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, you guys are not beating us. So who's that other playmaker where they don't need the ball in their hands to make stuff happen, but if they're given the opportunity to, they can. They're the type of players that can do it. Like, we've seen Kuzma do that type of thing. Like, he can take over games.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Hart has done a great job since being traded from Portland to New York. Maybe we could have used something like that. Like,
Right.
I like Lamar Stevens, Chetty Osman, and Karis LeVert, but how do I know? Can we really count on them on a consistent basis? I don't know.
I mean, Chetty's always been consistent off the bench. Like,
Yeah.
don't start him, but he comes in off the bench and he catches fire super quick.
Yeah, but he can also have games where he goes like 1 for 10 from the field.
That is also very true.
So it's just like I don't know what I'm getting from like the reserves on a consistent from the role players, I should say, on a consistent basis with the Cavs. And that's my biggest issue with them. We know what Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland are going to give us. We have an idea of what Jared Allen and Evan Mobley can give us. But I don't know what Isaac Okoro is going to give us on a gamely basis.
And Okoro, if you do get 9 points, just score 1.
Yes.
Like if you're at the free throw line, just shoot once.
Right. But Karis LeVert, he can play 31 minutes and only give us like 6 points.
I think he's more of a defender and more of an assist man.
Okay, that's fair, but still, if we
Okoro now, he's like our biggest defender on the wing.
Right. And he's gonna have to face are we gonna put him on Julius Randle at times? I don't know.
I don't either.
Because it's like I feel like people are gonna favor the Knicks a little bit in the season, in the playoffs, because they have more proven bench players.
Right.
Emmanuel Quickly, Obi Toppin, Mitchell Robinson, Jalen Brunson has been a fantastic pickup for them. Whereas, like we've been saying, other than Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley is getting there, but he
needs just a little bit more time. Jared Allen's good when he's healthy.
Right, which I believe he's injured tonight, actually. I think I read that.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so not good. Right now, it is 30-26 Atlanta in the second quarter. Let's see. Our starters tonight were Evan Mobley, Lamar Stevens, Darius Garland, Karis LeVert, and Donovan Mitchell. Oh. So, yeah, Jared Allen's out. So
where's Okoro?
He's injured too.
Oh no.
Yeah. And the winner of this Hawks-Cavs game tonight wins the regular season series 2-1.
Oh, boy.
Not that it's going to matter too much, because they're not going to see each other in the playoffs unless, Atlanta has a similar run to what they did in 2021, and we somehow get to, the Eastern Conference Finals or whatever.
Right.
But, yeah. Like I said, this is going to be the biggest home game of the season. Although it's going to be hard to top. If I do go to that game on Friday, it's going to be hard to top the atmosphere. When I was at that game on March 6th against the Celtics. Shout out to Jesse Almeida. He's a huge Boston Celtics fan. I was actually writing about this. We'll transition to a little bit of just more general Cavs stuff for the last 11 and a half minutes of this segment. I think we've already established that Cavaliers 76ers is a rivalry. Maybe Cavaliers Hawks is a rivalry. I'm leaning more towards that it is a rivalry, but
that play-in game last year,
which is the main reason why I'm calling it a play-in or calling it a rivalry. But I think the Cavaliers and Celtics, you could, if you want to make an argument that it is a rivalry, I think
historically it is.
Yeah, think about it.
All the times LeBron's Cavs and Paul Pierce's Celtics met in the playoffs and clashed with each other.
Right.
It happened often.
2008 and 2010, both ending with Boston eliminating the Cavs.
I believe we eliminated them in 2007.
No, we did not play them in 2007.
Dang, we didn't?
No, in 2000.
I know we beat them. Oh, and then you have 2014 and 2018, where the Cavs came out on top.
2015, 2017, and 2018, the Cavs won all three of those series.
Yeah, so there definitely is history between the Cavs and Celtics as a rivalry.
Yes, which if Kelly Olynyk didn't rip out Kevin Love's shoulder, Cavs win that championship. Well,
easily.
Well, also, if Kyrie hadn't gotten hurt in Game 1.
Right. Although, I think that was a lasting injury because he got hurt during that Bulls series in round 2.
I think
because he was playing hurt during the Hawks series.
Speaking of that, right now it's 34-32 Hawks with 7.5 to go in the second quarter.
Oh, good. We're coming back.
Yes. We need to win this game tonight because that will extend our winning streak to, I believe, 4 games in a row. But, yeah, we need all the momentum we can get going into – yes, because oh, no, actually, 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be our 5th win in a row if we can get it.
Oh, wow.
Because we won last Friday against the Wizards, then had 2 wins in Brooklyn against the Nets, and then we beat the Rockets on Sunday, which clinched the playoff spot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's really crucial that we win tonight because we need all the momentum we can get going into this game on Friday against New York.
Absolutely.
I mean, like we said, even though the Cavs are 5 games clear of the Knicks, that game is going to absolutely feel like a playoff series.
Oh yeah,
like a game.
The whole 7 games.
Yes. It's important that we win this game too because I want to stay out in front of the Knicks. So if the series goes to a Game 7, it's here in the shadow of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame rather than being on Broadway.
Yes.
Which I know Madison Square Garden is not actually on Broadway. It's just...
And the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is nowhere near Rocket Mortgage FieldHouse. They're on 2 separate sides of downtown.
I know. It's just a metaphor. Just go with me on it.
Oh, I was going with you as soon as you said in the shadow of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm like, wait, they're playing at First Energy Stadium?
No.
They're playing at Fox 8 News Studios, which is actually nearby.
No, that's actually... Oh, right. Fox 8 is nearby. I was thinking Channel 3, which is basically right next door.
Yeah, no, because Fox 8, I pass it going... When I used to go down out to the campground, I used to always pass the Fox 8 dish. And I'm like, oh, that's where they filmed Fox 8 News.
This is Fox 8 News.
I sometimes miss watching the news, but then I see all sorts of like, oh, I don't miss watching the news anymore.
Yes. Just want to quickly send out our condolences to everybody involved in the Nashville school shooting recently. All I will say about that, we're not going to go into depth about that, but all I will say is something needs to change. There's been too much stuff. That's all I want to say.
Absolutely, too much
That's
stuff.
that's all
Gotta
I
get
want
rid
to
of some of it.
Right. That's all I want to say. Because again, we know politics is a bit of a sensitive topic, and we're a sports show. We don't really talk about it unless it involves the sports world or
Right.
something like this happens.
Yes.
But yeah, so we got about 6 minutes left in this segment. So we can just keep it general Cavs for the rest of the time, which is kind of what we've been doing. But yeah. So let's say the Cavs beat the Knicks in round 1. Who would you least like to play in round 2? Celtics, Bucks, or 76ers? Who would you least like to play?
I don't want to have to face James Harden and
Embiid?
and Joel Embiid. That's just not a matchup I want to see because they're going to slap us around like they have been doing. And it's not really going to be a series. There's going to be a lot of people saying, well, the Cavs shouldn't even made the playoffs in the first place if they're losing this bad as Philadelphia.
Okay. For me, it's Milwaukee because if all three of them are healthy, Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, and Giannis, I just don't know how you beat them. Granted, we split the season series with them 2-2, but can you really see the Cavs being able to hang with the Bucks in a 7-game series in the playoffs? I don't.
Well, the Bucks have way more playoff experience than any of the Cavs.
Right.
Like I'd say the only one of the Cavs that has actual playoff experience is Donovan Mitchell because his time with the Jazz.
Right, and the Jazz never really had great playoff experience. Even when they were the number 1 seed, they lost to the LA Clippers in round 2.
Yes.
Which that was the first time ever that the Clippers had made it past round 2. So
yes.
Good job, Utah.
Golf clap. Golf clap.
But the team I would most want to see in the second round or even the Eastern Conference Finals, and it's not even close. I need to see the Cleveland Cavaliers and Boston Celtics face off in the playoffs this year. If we don't see this series, it will be an absolute travesty.
It would be probably one of the best series between the Cavs and the Celtics.
Oh, yeah. Again, shout out to Jesse Almeida, huge Celtics fan. Love doing the video collaboration with you. But 3 out of the 4 games between the Cavs and Celtics went into overtime. And the other game that didn't, if there were like 30 more seconds on the clock, that game might have gone into overtime. The Cavs won the season series 3-1, which if you didn't know anything, that would look like, oh, the Cavaliers just straight up dominated the Celtics. No, they didn't. Like I said, 3 out of the 4 games went into overtime. You could tell the two teams were evenly matched. Like, it was basically like, it didn't even feel like the coaches were using X's and O's as much as like, okay, how do we outsmart them?
Yeah, how do we outsmart them? How do we outplay them? How do we outscore them? How do we make sure that we leave this arena victorious over them?
Right. Like, I'll tell you what. Like we said, the Friday's game is going to feel like a playoff game. March 6th.
That season series against the Celtics felt like a playoff series.
Oh, yeah. It's I'm almost disappointed that the regular season series is over. I wish there were like 3 more games because yes, we won, but it didn't feel like we won 3-1. It felt like the season series ended in a 2-2 tie, if that makes sense.
Right. It does. We went to one of the Cavs Celtics games this year, didn't we?
No, that was last year.
I know we went to the one last year where we lost, but I could have sworn we went to one this year.
No.
I know we went to Minnesota.
We went to Memphis,
Yeah, I remember that night.
Oklahoma City.
Yep. Did we only go to games against Western Conference teams?
I'd have to go back and look. We might have.
Oh, wait, because I went to one with John against Miami.
Yeah, but I'm talking about just you and me. Like, are you including the games we went to with John?
We can include the ones we went to with John.
Okay, so let me see. Yeah. You and me went to the Grizzlies game, the Thunder game, Timberwolves.
Yes.
We might have only been to Western Conference games this year, actually.
I know I went to a Miami game against John because that was the first time I ever saw Kyle Lowry in person. I was happy on that because I am a huge Kyle Lowry supporter, because he's gonna go down as one of the greatest Raptors of all time.
I think actually, yeah. If I had been to the home game against Denver for the Cavs, I would have seen the Cavs play all 4 teams in the Northwest Division because I saw Cleveland play Minnesota. I saw them play Portland. I went to the game out in Salt Lake City where the Cavs played the Jazz. And then you and me saw them play Oklahoma City.
Yep.
So, but that's going to do it for our Cavaliers Knicks topic, which means, well, I don't need to say what's next. We're just going to start the timer on this. There's a reason my hashtag says Cavamania. That was my way of combining the Cleveland Cavaliers and WrestleMania.
And we are in Hollywood. Cleveland's own Mike Mizrahi, a.k.a. The Miz, is hosting WrestleMania this year. And there's a bunch of storylines going in. Let's run down a few of the ones that we like and a few of the ones we don't like.
Well, first of all, his last name is Mike Mizanin.
I thought it was Mizrahi.
No.
Mizanin?
Yes.
Okay. My bad.
But yes, he goes by The Miz, and he is the host of WrestleMania. I really hope he does not get involved in the Logan Paul Seth Rollins match.
I don't either. That needs to finish clean. It really doesn't matter who wins because you can have realistically, this is the one match where either competitor could win and it makes sense.
If I remember correctly, Seth Rollins has not won at WrestleMania since he beat Brock Lesnar at Mania 35.
That is correct.
Because he lost to Kevin Owens at Mania 36.
Mm-hmm.
He lost to Cesaro at Mania 37. And then he lost to Cody at Mania 38. So, yeah,
Seth needs a win. Because Logan won it last year's Mania. He won that tag match with The Miz against Rey and Dominic Mysterio, which I can't believe what I saw on SmackDown.
I know. They're going to have a match. We'll get to that storyline, though. Well, let's just play it like this. What's been the best storyline?
The Bloodline.
Any specific part of the Bloodline? Oh!
Sami Zayn.
Ha! What's up, Stinky? Max, can we be friends? I guess? I don't know.
The Sami Zayn thing with the bloodline and his whole thing with the Usos. And then at the Royal Rumble, just as everyone thought he was about to take a chair to his best friend in the whole world, Kevin Owens, he swerves us all and he hits Roman Reigns over the back.
Did he really swerve us, though? Like, we kind of had a feeling that's what was going to happen, though.
Well, we all thought the bloodline was going to turn on him, not him turn on the bloodline. Although I kind of called that he was going to do it at some point. He was going to get them before they got him.
But either way, we knew they were going to break up, so it wasn't that much of a surprise.
And then Cody basically begging Sammy and KO to, just hug it out and be friends. And they finally do that. And then they go on the KO show and challenge the Usos for the undisputed tag titles at Mania, which I don't have a problem with that. I mean, Sammy and KO are most likely going to win.
Right. But I was talking with a friend of mine about this the other day, or I might have heard this somewhere. Once, let's say for the sake of argument, all three of them win. Cody beats Roman, and then Sammy and Kevin Owens become the tag team champions. Then what? It's like...
So... I have something for Backlash, then that is Roman Solo and Jimmy Uso versus Sammy KO and someone who turned on the bloodline, who hopefully, I'm hoping for it, turns on the bloodline at WrestleMania, Jey Uso.
So you're saying a 6-man tag team match?
At Backlash. Cody, however, I don't know why I really want to see this match at Backlash. I want to see Cody defend the tag title or defend the undisputed Universal Championship against Seth Rollins at WrestleMania Backlash.
I bet you they're going to revisit that feud, but I don't think they're going to do it right away.
I mean, yeah. Or they could do, Cody versus I don't want to say the winner of Drew, Gunther, and Sheamus. I want to say whoever loses between Drew and Sheamus take on Cody.
But do you get what I mean? It's like we don't. Once the story is finished, it's like, okay,
where do we go from here?
Exactly.
I'm sure Triple H will have something in mind for everyone. He's not Vince McMahon, who put a championship belt on Kofi Kingston with no plans for him.
I mean, he did have that feud with Randy Orton, and I forget who else he feuded with while he was champion.
That was all after Mania. Those plans came up after Mania.
Right.
It was said that at Mania, Kofi was supposed to win, and then he was immediately supposed to drop the belt on SmackDown, which probably would have pissed everyone off. Even more than it actually did when he lost the WWE Championship, the most prestigious championship in WWE history, in, 8 seconds?
Yes.
7 seconds?
Yes. 8 seconds to Brock.
Why?
And then Brock dropped it to Drew. And then Drew
that
dropped...
wasn't until next year's Mania, wasn't it? Yeah, that was at next year's Mania.
Yes, and then Drew dropped it to Bobby Lashley,
who then dropped it to Big E.
Right, and
because
then
Big E cashed in, and then Big E dropped it to Brock, who dropped it to Bobby, who dropped it to Brock, who dropped it to Roman.
No. Oh yeah. I was thinking of the Universal Championship for a minute.
No, the Universal Championship has a way less complicated history. Let's see. It was Finn Balor,
Seth,
then KO.
Wait, no.
Or was it KO then Seth?
I don't think Seth won his first.
No, he didn't win it until he beat Brock at 35.
Okay.
Roman had a stint with the Universal Championship, but he had to vacate it due to his leukemia coming back.
Right, but then he won it back at some point.
He won it back from
The Fiend.
I thought it was Goldberg.
No, they were. That's what it was. Once Roman vacated, I think. Oh wait,
Braun Strowman had it at some point. Braun Strowman was the one who dropped it to the Fiend.
yes, and then
Because Braun
Roman.
Strowman was the first person to hold the current Universal title, the blue one, meaning he held the red strap and blue strap kind of simultaneously.
No, the Fiend also had the blue one.
Yeah, he won it from Braun Strowman, but Braun Strowman was the one who...
No, the Fiend had the blue one before.
Oh, okay.
Because he dropped it to Goldberg, and then Goldberg and Roman were going to face off at Mania, but then the pandemic happened.
And Roman was sidelined due to being immunocompromised.
Right, so that's why they had to bring in Braun Strowman. And then Braun had a weird feud with The Miz and Morrison for the championship. And then they did Bray Wyatt. But anyway, all that aside, all that history and stuff aside.
Yeah, there's your history lesson for the day, kids.
That's a good song too. A history lesson. If you haven't listened to it, you should. It's hilarious, but it's very inappropriate. You should listen to it.
Is it like anything that's any song that's on South Park? Because those are truly inappropriate. I mean, come on, Kyle's mom. You know the song.
Yes. It's by Stephen Lynch. I'll send it to you after. But anyway, getting back to what our topic at hand, WrestleMania, because we only have 10 minutes left in this first segment. Jeez.
Well, let's talk about the worst storyline going in, and that is Brock Lesnar, former WWE champion, former Universal champion, former IWGP Heavyweight champion, former UFC World Heavyweight champion, versus
Omos.
Which,
from what I heard, the reason they're doing this match is because, Bray Wyatt challenged the winner, and they were originally going to have Brock win between Lashley and
Lesnar at the Elimination Chamber.
Correct, but Lesnar did not want to do a feud with Bray Wyatt, so that's why they had the DQ.
What I think they should have happen between this match between Omos and so MVP is Omos's manager. Do you know who else has worked with MVP in the past?
Lashley.
And?
Cedric Alexander.
And?
Oh, you're saying reform the Hurt Business.
At Mania, have the Hurt Business, have Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and Cedric Alexander all come out, screw Brock Lesnar over, have Omos beat the Beast Incarnate, and reform the Hurt Business. It's genius if you think about it.
Yeah. I mean, they were teasing that the Hurt Business was coming back at some point.
Right, because they had Cedric and Shelton teaming together again.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, speaking of put together tag teams that I actually like, Ricochet and Braun Strowman's growing on me.
That's an interesting tag team. It's a weird one.
I like their finisher where Ricochet stands on Braun Strowman's shoulders. Braun Strowman runs forward, and then Ricochet does a swanton bomb off of Strowman's shoulders. That's fun. That's fun wrestling.
By the way, it is Hawks 59, Cavaliers 51 at halftime.
Oh, jeez. What is going on? What is going on?
I don't know. Trae Young has 4 points, and we're losing.
Man, I don't know, man.
There's only one player on the Hawks who's in double digits, and that's DeJounte Murray, and we're still somehow losing.
Logan Paul says his WWE contract up is or is up after WrestleMania 39. Interesting.
He's going to he should resign. He's been good as a heel. Why did it take WWE so long for them to realize, oh wait, Logan Paul should be a heel?
Because he gets booed anyways.
Like, I didn't mind his program with Roman, but like,
I personally didn't care. It's two wrestlers I don't care for at all.
And their match ended up being really good. I'll give them that. But
the match was fantastic. It's just two wrestlers involved that two people I do not like.
right. But it's like Roman's portrayed to be the biggest heel. And then Logan Paul was meant to be a babyface, and the fans were like, no, Logan Paul is not a babyface.
Right.
And even during the Miz excuse me. His feud against the Miz,
The Miz is a heel.
Yeah.
Right?
And for some reason, part of that feud was Miz has tiny balls.
Oh yeah. When I was at the holiday show, we were kind of chanting that at the Miz, and Johnny Gargano kept calling him Mike, which pissed him off.
Yeah, because that's his real name.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I agree with you. I hate to say this because I think Bianca versus Asuka is going to be a really good match, but the storyline has been awful.
Mm-hmm. What storyline? It's just a title match with no substance. Asuka's gonna win because who left on the Raw roster? Raw women's roster does Bianca have left to face?
I have no idea.
She's beaten Becky Lynch.
She's beaten Bayley.
She's beaten Bayley. What, 3 times?
Yeah.
She's beaten she's beaten Alexa Bliss.
Right. That program was also terrible.
Yeah. Dakota Kai and Io Sky are tag teams, so they can't go after the Raw Women's Championship.
Yeah. And Rhea Ripley's going after the SmackDown
Women's Championship, which makes no sense.
It's because,
I know about their match. What was that,
36
for the NXT Women's Championship?
Right.
Which, by the way, is that the only time an NXT title has been defended at Mania?
That I don't know. It's the only time I know of.
It's the only time we know of because NXT has only been a thing since 2012?
Something like that. I don't mind. Speaking of that, I know we're focusing on WrestleMania, but I don't mind that Johnny Gargano is having a match at Stand and Deliver against Grayson Waller, but I would have liked it if he had an actual WrestleMania match.
Right. He hasn't had a match at WrestleMania in his entire time with the company.
Right.
Because he was released and then he was brought back.
Which, here's my thing. I guess I took off the timer because we're just going to talk about Mania in general now.
Yeah.
I don't mind the Austin Theory versus John Cena match, and that's what's kicking off WrestleMania. I get it. John Cena is a big star, and you're in Hollywood.
He's pretty much the greatest WWE wrestler of all time.
And I get all.
Say what you want about whoever you want is your GOAT. 16-time title reign. Carried WWE on his back for 10 years, more than 10 years, over a decade.
Right.
That is dedication.
I have nothing against John Cena. The match.
No one should, I don't think anyone in the world has anything against John Cena.
Right. And the match is going to be great, but I just think it would, for me personally, I would have preferred if they had done Theory versus Gargano at Mania for the U.S. Championship.
I would like to see that. Theory versus Gargano. That would be fun.
I think, because they have history, because they were both in the way at NXT. So I think you could have played off of that.
And Gargano could, kind of resent Theory because he's Vince McMahon chose you over me when I'm the better wrestler. When
Right.
I'm the one who taught you everything you know.
Right. So, but again, like I get why they're doing Cena versus Theory. It's
And plus, come on. Cena's first ever title win at Mania was the U.S. Championship.
So again, I don't mind it, but it's not the match I wanted, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
but the build up to it has been absolutely phenomenal.
Yes. Speaking of phenomenal, it's so sad that AJ Styles is not going to be at Mania.
Injuries, man.
That would have been a great WrestleMania program. AJ Styles against Johnny Gargano.
Oh, hell yeah. Give me technical wrestling. Or if you want to go the even more fun route, how about this? AJ Styles versus Chad Gable in a 60-minute Iron Man match.
Didn't you do that on your PS?
I did it on 2K23. AJ Styles won by a lot. But the thing is, both of them are like the two biggest technical wrestlers in WWE. You put them in a ring, they're gonna make magic happen.
Okay.
Of course.
But
And when it comes to magic happenings in matches, you can't talk about this year's WrestleMania without talking about one of the most highly anticipated matches, Brood Edge versus Demon Finn Balor, Hell in a Cell.
which, from what I've heard, they're bringing back the original Hell in a Cell for this match.
Yes. Okay. That is something I want to work with.
Why did nobody like the red Hell in a Cell?
So I personally don't mind it. I actually like the red look at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. But anywhere else but there, it just feels out of place, you know?
According to Ariel Helwani in a tweet, the current plan is for UFC 289 to take place June 10th at the Scotiabank Saddle Dome in Calgary.
Ah, that's cool.
So let me get this straight. The UFC is doing a pay-per-view at Miami-Dade Arena in Miami. They're probably going to do a pay-per-view at the Scotiabank Saddle Dome.
They're doing one at what's it called? It's in New Jersey. It's the Devil's Arena.
Prudential Center.
Yeah.
But you can't do a pay-per-view here at Rocket Mortgage FieldHouse?
Right. We
Why?
haven't been there since 2016.
Right. Like, I get it. Aljamain Sterling, he's from the New York, New Jersey area. But, like, okay, why New Jersey? Why Calgary?
Right.
Seriously, I don't know the last time the UFC did a pay-per-view in the Midwest, whether it's Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland.
Right.
I know that at one point they did a UFC fight night in Columbus, but still.
Yeah.
That's
I did that last year, the fight night in Columbus.
That's just ridiculous. But anyway, getting back to WrestleMania. So we're going to go match by match and say whether we're excited about the match or not. And do we want to make predictions?
Yeah, let's make predictions. Let's call out our personal predictions right now.
Okay, first of all, do you think any more matches will get added to Mania, or do you think it's done?
If they didn't add any yesterday, they're most likely not going to add any on Friday.
Okay. So then bonus question. Do you think Bobby Lashley will be at WrestleMania?
I do not know. I honestly do not know the answer to that. Possibly, but also don't get your hopes too high.
Ooh, Roxanne Perez has been medically cleared, and per Shawn Michaels, she's been added to the NXT Women's Championship match at Stand and Deliver.
Let's go. I like Roxanne Perez. She's been a fantastic champion.
So so does that mean she's technically defending her title then? Or
I believe so, because they never yes, they officially announced that. Well, they never officially announced that she was vacating the title or that they stripped her.
But they said it was the ladder match was for the vacant championship.
Oh, I do not know then.
So, I don't know. That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
I just put the link in the WWE chat in the Combat Sports Fan server.
All right.
Ooh, that's cool. Dirk, D. Wade, Pau Gasol, Tony Parker, and Greg Popovich are officially going into the Hall of Fame for basketball.
Wow.
I love that group. But, okay, back to wrestling and WrestleMania. Okay. Bobby Lashley, that's what we were talking about. He like we said, he was in a WrestleMania program with Bray Wyatt, which I wasn't really liking that feud anyway.
It made no sense, and Bray Wyatt has not been medically cleared to wrestle, so
yes,
get well soon, Bray. Just don't put wrestling over your health.
Right, he's out. I think he's came down with some type of illness or something.
That's exactly what I heard.
But I wish they had given Bobby some type of backup feud. I know it would have only been a couple weeks out, but maybe the problem is Bobby meant to be a heel or a babyface right now?
We don't know.
So my thing is
well, if they do exactly what I think they're going to do with that Omos Brock Lesnar match, Bobby will be at Mania and he will help Omos win.
Okay, but I feel like it would be a disappointment if he didn't have a match at Mania.
Oh, absolutely.
I feel like what they should do is have him go out to the ring for an open challenge and somebody's music hits for some big return. Or
a debut.
Or here's something you could do. Earlier in the day, you have Stand and Deliver, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So where Braun Breaker is defending the NXT Championship against Carmelo Hayes.
He's most likely to lose it there because they're going to put him on the main roster eventually.
You're leading right into what I'm saying.
But would people want to see Braun Breaker versus Bobby Lashley?
Why not?
Braun's too green for Bobby. Bobby would absolutely just destroy him, and
no, he wouldn't.
Have you not seen any of Braun Breaker's matches? He needs a little bit more time before getting to the big guys like Bobby.
He is a big guy, though.
No, he's definitely a big guy. I mean, he is Scott Steiner's son. That is actually true.
Oh. Ha! Bork says Braun Breaker versus Brock is better.
I would like to see that eventually. That would be fun.
What up, Bork?
It's good to see you on the show.
Yes. Bork is in the Combat Sports Fans Discord server, which I am the proud creator of.
Yes.
But anyway, okay, maybe hold off on the Bobby Lashley versus Braun Breaker match until Sunday, so you give him a day off.
Okay.
But dang, it's annoying that they're doing Braun versus Carmelo. It makes sense. But
after what happened at Vengeance Day with him convincingly and definitively beating
Apollo
Grayson Waller in that steel cage match.
No, that's not.
Braun Breaker.
Yeah. Oh.
Carmelo Hayes beat Apollo Crews in 2 out of 3 falls match.
Right.
Now the repackaged Davocado turning on Carmelo Hayes. He was Commander Aziz. Now he's Davocado again.
But no,
I remember Raw Underground.
The reason I'm saying it's annoying is because I would love to see both Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes on the main roster.
Eventually they'll get there. I don't think Carmelo's ready yet. He's still a little too new.
Fair. But dude can cut a promo though.
Oh yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah. I'd love if maybe you could turn Carmelo into a babyface and have him feud with The Miz.
No. Carmelo needs to be a heel. He is one of those people that can never like The Miz. The Miz is not a good face. He's always a good heel.
It's just like MJF.
Yeah, I knew it was not going to be a babyface.
MJF needs to stay a heel.
Absolutely.
Which, oh yeah, you're right. WrestleMania 39 is Logan Paul's final match on his contract. They should renew his contract though, because he's been good. But anyway, we're getting really off track. We're good about that.
Yes.
Okay, so we covered Logan Paul versus Seth. We didn't really cover the Hell in a Cell match. So let's
talk about that.
You know the song, This Is the Song That Doesn't End?
This is the feud that never ends.
Yes, and it should have been over already. Like,
I feel like Edge and AJ needed, or not Edge and AJ, Edge and Finn needed this match right here. Match to keep the Judgment Day out, to keep what's her name?
Beth Phoenix
out. Just Edge and Balor. Because remember, they had a singles match at Extreme Rules. It was an I Quit match. The Judgment Day got involved. Beth Phoenix got involved. Beth Phoenix got concertoed by Rhea Ripley.
Which is what made Edge say, I quit.
Well, no, it was before that.
Right.
And then Rhea Ripley said, you taught us too well, and then hit the concerto.
Right. So.
Rhea Ripley's such a good heel.
She really is.
I think she is the best heel the women's division has. Hands down.
Okay, so let me ask you this. I guess we'll transition to that match now. Is Charlotte Flair supposed to be the babyface in this feud?
She's been a babyface ever since she returned to take the belt from Ronda Rousey.
Okay, because I've been watching, and I haven't been able to tell that Charlotte is the babyface.
She's supposed to be the babyface, but everyone's supposed to root for the heel because, you know, Rhea's supposed to win the match.
Like, it's been
I don't care about Charlotte anyways. Like, she's all right. She's Ric Flair's daughter. That's all she has going for her.
It's been a good feud, but I don't think it's main event worthy. Like, I get it. It's Charlotte Flair, so you want to put her in the spotlight, but like Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey was not the main event for WrestleMania Night 1 last year. Like, they've done non-title matches. Like, last year it was Kevin Owens versus Stone Cold in the main event.
Yeah.
So maybe they do have Seth versus Logan be the main event. That's my personal.
I think there's only one match besides Rhea versus Charlotte that should be the main event of Night 1. And it's because of the main event of Night 2 that this whole thing is happening.
Right.
Sammy and KO versus the Usos. There's no other option.
Right. Well, no.
Why?
You put out another option But the problem is, I don't think they would have the U.S. Championship and the Intercontinental Championship be defended on the same night at Mania. Now
right. Especially because we know it's going to open up the show.
Right. If Cena versus Theory wasn't opening the show, I would agree with you about Drew versus Gunther versus Sheamus being worthy of the main event, but because they're just going to beat the absolute piss out of each other.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's not going to be the main event. Or I guess fortunately, if he didn't want it to be the main event, I don't know.
I don't know. All I know is that night one's Logan Paul's birthday, so yeah.
And night one is also April Fool's Day.
That is true.
So,
why don't we have a prank match like last year with Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville and the cast of Jackass?
I don't know.
That was funny.
It was funny. Okay. So I guess we'll get to the actual matches now. What do you think is going to be the best match?
What do I think is going to be the best match?
Yes, you already know my answer to this question.
I'm going to actually swerve. I'm going to go.
You're Swerve Strickland now?
No, I'm Isaiah Swerve Scott. They're the same person, just one's in NXT and the other's in AEW. I'm going to go with what I think is going to be the greatest fight in WWE history. How can this match not be bad? Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, and Gunther for the IC title. There's no way with those three men that this match can be bad.
That match has a lot to live up to for me because
of Sheamus versus Gunther at Clash of the Castle.
No.
Being match of the year last year.
No, not even that. Because of the triple threat IC championship match we had at Mania 34. Miz versus Balor versus Seth Rollins. This is only going to be my 7th WrestleMania because I went back and watched Mania 32.
This is my 13th.
Okay.
I started with one of the greatest main events in WrestleMania history. Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. Streak versus career.
And I will say that if I had to make a top five Mania matches, I would put that triple threat match in there of Balor versus Seth versus Miz. I'm not sure what order I would put in, so don't hold me to it. But that match would be in my top 5. I would put, even though Cody beat Seth, I would still put Cody versus Seth at Mania last year in there. I would put AJ versus Randy Orton from Mania 35 in there. I thought that match was absolutely terrific. That's 3. My other 2, I really liked. I'd have to go back and watch Mania 36. It's kind of hard to put any matches from that Mania in my top 5 because there was no crowd.
I have one from 37 on my card.
Okay.
On my top 5. And that is the Rated R Superstar Edge
versus
Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns. Just the 2 shots of that double submission and then Roman stack pinning. Iconic.
Yes.
And I hate Roman Reigns.
Yes, you do. And you get a lot of shit.
I do get a lot of shit, but it's my opinion.
Or you don't even like calling him Roman Reigns. You like calling him
Roman Lames.
You're ridiculous. But okay.
Another 2 I'd put are from 25 and 26 back to back. Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. I'm just gonna put both those matches into one.
Okay.
They're both Great matches.
I would also include Jericho versus AJ Styles from Mania 32. That
I
match.
put that there. That ladder tag match at Mania 33 for one reason alone.
The Hardys.
The pop the Hardys got, probably the biggest pop in WrestleMania history.
I would have said the ladder match at Mania 32 for the IC Championship, but for some reason Zack Ryder won that.
He's no longer known as Zack Ryder. He's known as Matt Cardona. But yes.
Like, it was a really good ladder match, but then I'm just like, wait. I was so confused when Zack Ryder won it. I'm like, what? Like, that made no sense.
Undertaker versus AJ Styles at Mania 36, the graveyard match. That's up there for me. I liked that match a lot. It was a fitting in-ring end for Taker.
Well, it wasn't an in-ring. It was because that was the cinematic.
Yeah, but it's the last match he ever wrestled in his career.
Fair. I'll give you that. Okay. Oh, Bork is tuning in.
Was the Firefly... I'm forgetting which Firefly Funhouse.
Okay, so this is Bork talking about
Hell in a Cell ends rivalries. That it does. Remember Mick Foley versus Undertaker, that rivalry?
Okay.
Ended with Undertaker throwing Mick Foley off the structure through the announce table.
Right, like what happened with Kevin Owens and Sheamus. Or no, Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon. This is what Bork said about Charlotte. She's acting like a tweener. I would agree with that.
I could see that. I could definitely see that.
Okay. She's been old news since 2014.
Is that still on Charlotte?
Yeah.
I definitely see it.
Bork thinks Usos versus Sammy and KO is going to main event.
It should. Just because the storyline alone.
Can't forget Rock versus Austin.
Ah, yes. What was that? Mania X8?
I think. And then the ladder match from Mania 17.
Yeah, as someone who has gone back and seen that, I definitely agree there.
So, yeah, I'd have to go back and watch.
Mania X7, that was a good one.
Yeah. But, yeah, there's some other iconic matches you could put in, but for me, I loved the Drew McIntyre versus Roman match at Mania 37. Kofi versus Daniel Bryan.
Wait, Roman had two matches?
No, I meant at Mania 35.
Oh, okay.
Hey, we got another guy from our server in here.
What's up, Liam?
Hey, if you guys want, I can get up to 6 people in here. If you want, I can put the link and have you guys come backstage. Actually, let me put that in the chat.
Although one of the worst Mania matches for me, I don't remember what Mania was at, but it was Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio. It was like 17 seconds, and Samoa Joe put Rey to sleep.
That was at Mania 35.
Okay.
Yeah, that match was awful. Actually, let me do that. I can put the link back in the live chat. All right. I just put the link to come backstage in the live chat. So if you want to come backstage and talk WrestleMania with us, just click on that link and it'll take you backstage. I'll let you on the show. So that's all you got to do. But what do you think about this 6-woman tag team match that we're getting at Mania?
It's going to be 8. There's going to be a 4th team involved.
No, I'm talking about the 6.
Oh, you meant Lita versus... Lita, Becky, and Trish versus Damage Control. I don't care about Damage Control at all. I do not think they are a good faction. Like, they've done They've done absolutely nothing of note.
Right. Like, their whole thing was take control. Take control of what?
They wanted the Raw Women's title and the tag titles. They had the tag titles. Bailey couldn't get it done.
Right. And
She's more of a mid-card heel. No disrespect to Bailey as a person or a character, but she's one of the few women on the women's roster I could see never main eventing a pay-per-view.
okay, so you were talking about this the other day. You don't like her heel character.
I don't. She is absolutely, like, it's not annoying in the sense that, oh, yeah, she's an annoying heel. I get that. No, she's annoying to the point where I want to go into an Extreme Rules match with her and then just hit her with a steel pipe the whole time. Just to get her to shut up. Just to get her to shut up.
I will say it's been better. Her heel character has been better than her I'm a hugger character in having
no, that was the worst character I have ever seen in wrestling.
And having those silly inflatables. Like,
didn't she bring those back briefly?
I don't know.
Like recently. However, if Triple H knows what he's doing, he can turn her face the right way. He's not going to go back to that character. He's going to give her a whole new character, make her a whole new face, and I think we should just give it a chance. See what Triple H can do with her.
Nice. I'm just putting something in one of the Discord chats super quick. But in the meantime, what did Bork say? My Raptors are destroying the Heat. Okay. But yeah, I feel like Trish is going to turn on Becky at this Mania because the rumor is that they're going to do Trish versus Becky in a program. Have you heard that rumor?
I have heard that rumor. I think it absolutely could happen.
So then, does that mean damage control wins?
No, I think she turns on after they win.
Well, here's the thing also. On Raw, Becky defeated Io Sky in a singles match. So what that says to me is damage control is probably going to win at Mania.
I can see that.
But
then again, it's Io Sky against who was it again?
Becky.
Oh, it's Becky. Well, they should have had it be Becky versus Bailey. Come on, it's two of the four horsewomen against each other.
They did that match already in a steel cage, and they've done it.
Oh, that's right. That's when Lita came to help. I forgot about that.
Right, and that's part of what Becky was saying. Like, I thought this program would be done after Survivor Series. I thought this would be done after our steel cage match. And
then she thought it was definitely going to be done after her and Lita took the tag titles off of Dakota Kai and Io Sky.
Which, here's what I would like to see happen at Mania. Instead of Trish turning on Becky, like, they can do that the night after on Raw. What I would like to see happen is, like,
damage control just break up.
Fine, have damage control win. But then afterwards, have Io Sky, or no, Dakota Kai actually, just sucker punch Bailey right in the face.
Either that, or, and this is a better idea, have both Dakota and Io do it. And...
Ooh. Okay, Liam says, I wouldn't mind damage control getting the win.
If they got the win.
But they still wouldn't feel like a big deal. They need to be booked consistently better after the fact. If that were the case, though. Yeah.
I definitely see your point. But here's what I think I'd like to see this happen. Trish does her turn, right? Mm-hmm. But After that, Io Sky and Dakota Kai get up with Bailey, and then they turn on Bailey. Trish is the new leader of Damage Control.
No, I think that's too much. But if there's any
too much, but not. Don't lie to me. That would be cool.
If there's any match that's going to have some type of shenanigans in it, it's going to be this match, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Besides Roman versus Cody. Because
you know there's going to be a ref spot. You know the Usos and Solo are going to come down. They're going to brutalize Cody.
Liam goes, would be...
Jimmy and Solo.
It would be a big swerve.
Absolutely it would.
And then Borg says, I think Lita turns heel and joins Damage Control.
But she's one half of the women's tag champions. It just wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
Unless you're going to have Becky turn heel, too, back into big-time Bex.
Nah, I don't think...
everyone would love. Have her feud with Piper Niven again.
Oh, God. That feud was awful. Let's just not talk about that.
That was my favorite feud from the Royal Rumble.
We got to talk about Dominic versus Ray.
Father versus son.
What? I thought they were going to wait to actually make this match happen until, like, during Rey Mysterio's Hall of Fame speech. Like, at the end of his speech, just have Dominic come out and just jump him.
I'm surprised Ray finally hit back.
You knew it was going to happen. Okay, before we get to that, actually, think about this for a second. Rhea Ripley has a match at WrestleMania. Finn Balor
has a match at WrestleMania. Now Dominic Mysterio does. WWE, I think you forgot someone in the Judgment Day. Someone who was a former U.S. champion. Someone who had a great showing in the Elimination Chamber.
Damian Priest.
Yeah.
And I loved it. Even though Bad Bunny took more of the spotlight, Damian Priest did great in that tag team match against Miz and Morrison at Mania 37. And
I could definitely see that.
Or wait. Yeah, that was Mania 37. And then Sheamus and Priest had a match at SummerSlam, I believe it was. And that match was great. So it's like Damian Priest can put on great matches.
I mean, he was a U.S. champion.
Personally, if he was still a babyface, I would have pitched the idea of him being the one to dethrone Roman.
That would be awesome.
Let's see. Dominic's heat would be nuclear after him attacking during Ray's speech.
Yeah. But they already made the match. They had Ray hit Dominic.
Yes, but if you want to get the most amount of heat on Dominic that you can, that's the way you do it. I don't think it's I think it's 100% on purpose that they're doing this match at Mania and the fact that Ray is going into the Hall of Fame. It's 100% planned.
Oh, yeah.
It's for anybody who thinks it's coincidental, I'm sorry, but no.
I think Rey Mysterio retires at the end of the match, and he gives his son, Dominic, he gives his mask willingly to his son after retiring, giving Dominic conflicting feelings, and eventually leading to Dominic turning face on the Judgment Day.
If anyone's going to dethrone Roman, it's going to be Gunther. That's what you were saying. I think Gunther
it's not Cody, it's Gunther.
Okay, so Bork says, if anyone's going to dethrone Roman, it's going to be Gunther. I think Gunther drops the belt to Sheamus, and Gunther enters a program with Roman that leads to a match between them at SummerSlam. The problem with that is, what do you do at Backlash and whatever the other premium events are?
And what do you do with Cody? Does he just not get another chance at the World Championship?
Right, and what do you do with Drew?
Well, Drew and Sheamus can over the IC title forever. They can feud forever and people will still love it.
Okay, let me say it like this. I love that we're doing the triple threat match, but I was saying this to you, like when we were talking about this off mic. I kind of wished we were just getting a singles match between Sheamus and Drew at Mania.
See, I would love that. I want them to feud. Have them continue this feud.
Okay, so Liam, you're saying that Cody should be the one to dethrone Roman and then have Gunther.
So what should happen is Cody should hold the belts from Mania to Mania, and then next year at Mania, set up Gunther as the next unstoppable force in the WWE.
You could keep Gunther as a heel, and then, because Cody would be a babyface dropping it to a heel.
Well, yeah, I don't want Gunther to turn face.
Yeah, Gunther is a face? No.
He was a heel in NXT, and he held the NXT UK Championship for 871 days.
Until Ilya Dragunov beat him.
I think if they call up Ilya Dragunov to the main roster, he should join Imperium. Like, could you imagine how deadly that group would be with Ilya?
I'm actually surprised Imperium doesn't have a tag team match at Mania.
Yeah, you'd think.
You'd think they would be added to that showcase match or whatever, but instead the showcase match is
the Street Profits
which
versus Alpha Academy
right
versus Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus
the Viking Raiders.
The Viking Raiders.
I'm not saying Cody should hold it Mania, but I'm saying after 150 to 200 days that Gunther beats him for the WWE.
Or since Gunther's on SmackDown, Universal title, if it's still around.
What if Cody beats Roman? He goes on Raw and talks about beating Roman. Then he's interrupted by a returning Randy Orton, which would set up a title match later in the night. Oh, I wouldn't do that title match right away.
I would save that title match for Backlash.
Yeah. I don't know if I would have Randy.
Is it Backlash after WrestleMania or is it after Money in the Bank?
No, it's after Mania because
I know after Mania 37 they went to Money in the Bank first.
No, I believe it's Backlash and then Money in the Bank.
Okay.
And then I think after Money in the Bank it's Hell in a Cell. But we'll see.
Well, there's no more Hell in a Cell pay-per-view.
So I think they're gonna actually do the King of the Ring premium live event instead.
They said they're doing King of the Ring this year.
Let's see. Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton could be the Money in the Bank main event. Okay.
But then what do you do with Cody at Backlash? Have him face Roman in a rematch?
You could. I guess you could. But, yeah, Liam and Bork, if you want, I put the link for you guys to come backstage and join us on the show. All you have to do is click on that link, and it'll take you backstage, and you can come on and actually talk with us rather than just being in the comment section. But do whatever you want. But, yeah. So, I think, have we covered... No, we
didn't cover the 2 tag showcases, but we don't know the 4th team in one of the tag showcases.
Yes, we do. We know all 4 tag teams.
No, the women's.
Yeah, the 4th tag team got decided last night.
Oh, who is it? Is it Sonya and Chelsea?
Yes.
God damn it.
Liam says, I don't want to put my camera on. That's the only thing. You don't have to turn your camera on. I've had people come on my shows and keep their camera off.
Yeah, no, that's happened before.
But do whatever you're comfortable with. Right now, it is 93 to 84 Hawks.
God dang it, Cavs.
It's only 6.2 seconds left in the third quarter.
Oh, okay. How do the Penguins tied 4-4 with the Red Wings? It's the Red Wings.
The Red Wings have been a better team this season.
They're still not in the playoffs.
Gotcha. But yeah, so we have the showcase matches. So for the women, it is Liv Morgan and who's her tag partner?
Raquel?
Oh yeah, Liv and Raquel against wait, is Chauncey there?
Shotzi and Natalia. And then there's Rhonda and Shayna.
Versus Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville. That's probably going to be the kickoff match for night 1 or night 2. Because, hey, look who's here. What's up, Liam?
Hi.
So we're just talking about the showcase matches.
Ah, those old chestnuts. Okay.
Yeah, the tag showcase matches that just like
are just
do we need them?
Like,
I mean, if it was for something like, say, winner gets an immediate title shot after Mania, or gets a title shot at Backlash.
What I feel like they could do the women's ones, because as per my predictions in the server the other day, I reckon Ronda and Shayna could win, and then that leads to like them versus Becky and Lita, because obviously Ronda and Becky have history. So, that's where I think they could go with that. But the men's ones, I don't know. I feel like that one's just there. But then again, they could also do the same thing where the winner could go face KO and Sammy. Or
That's
something
true.
like that.
Because I think it's all of the consensus that KO and Sammy are walking out of Mania with the tag titles.
That's the story they've been building.
Yeah.
So that's what I feel like they should be going with.
Yeah, I would agree with you. For me personally, I'm disappointed that the Street Profits are probably just going to be on the kickoff show. Like, they're better than that. I think they should be in the actual main event. Or not, I'm sorry. I'm not
on the main show.
Correct.
Or even just like have one of them like you have suggested multiple times, just Montez Ford versus Damian Priest.
Like, they were both involved in the Elimination Chamber match.
And Montez, was it
one of them eliminated
one of them eliminated the other from the Royal Rumble, and the other eliminated the other from the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah. Bork says the Street Profits are going to lose and then break up on the Raw after Mania. Wait, isn't the draft coming up soon? Actually?
Yeah, they don't have to break up. They could just get drafted to other shows. They did that with the New Day.
Right.
That was actually, I was sad when they did that because I like the New Day.
I like that they gave Big E a proper run, but I don't think they gave him a great title
reign.
No. You agree with that, Liam?
I agree with it to some degree, especially like it's like in a sense with especially like with Kofi and Big E. Obviously, both of them kind of had WWE title reigns within, I think it was 2 to 3 years span, wherever it was.
Just about, yeah. Because Kofi's was in 2019 and Big E's was in 2021.
So yeah, I was close enough on my time frames, but
yes.
Then it's like both of them both lost it fairly quickly. I think it was both to Brock Lesnar, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I fully agree with what Bork is saying here. Montez does need a singles push.
Absolutely. That's why I think you draft the Street Profits to different shows and then put them both on a singles run.
Right. Because here's the thing. Angelo Parker, or I don't know why I just...
Cool Hand? I didn't know we were breaking up Matt Menard and Angelo Parker now.
My nipples are hard.
Dang, what is Daniel Garcia going to do now?
He accidentally called himself a professional wrestler when he was on the microphone the other day with Adam Cole.
I did see that.
So I
Yeah.
think we're going back to that storyline, but
Oh,
not
fun.
not including Jericho and Danielson, obviously.
Well,
But
obviously, but well, it should still involve Jericho since the JAS. and all
okay,
that.
but staying on, I met Angelo Dawkins.
Oh, absolutely. He's from Cincinnati. Did you know that?
No,
Yeah, he's from Cincinnati. So that's another like great professional wrestler from Ohio.
but yeah, Angelo Dawkins can more than hold his own. So
I would like to see a singles match between him and Big E if upon Big E's return. I mean, yes, it's big men slapping man meat, but they're both likable. And
Yes.
they both have like similar, they come from tag team wrestling. They both needed this singles push. Big E got his. Now it's Angelo's turn.
mm,
Yeah, it's possible, I guess, but like, I guess they were already toying with the idea of Montez potentially going in a singles direction when they threw him inside the chamber with 5 other dudes. So
Yeah, and Angelo
Yeah.
Dawkins wasn't able to make it because Damian Priest.
I
right.
still think it's criminal that Damian Priest is not a Mania. I was even going to write in the comments that while they seem to be pushing 3 out of the 4 of them regularly on TV, it's just like Damian's acting more like he's just a heavy at the moment. Like he's just in the background.
We were kind of talking about that. We were saying like Rhea has a match, Dom has a match, Finn has a match. Did WWE forget that there's a 4th member of Judgment Day?
It sure seems like it.
Because
I
like
think in NXT, Triple H was very big on him, and all of a sudden now on the main roster, he's the 4th guy. And don't get me wrong,
he's a former.
He's good. He's great.
Right. He's a former U.S. champion. He's had matches against the likes of Sheamus at SummerSlam. He had a tag match with Bad Bunny against The Miz and Morrison at WrestleMania 37, where, again, he had a fantastic showing.
Right. But for some reason, he has nothing at Mania.
And is he even in the Andre the Giant Battle or Memorial Battle Royale?
I don't know.
I think he is.
Like
But the names I saw last night on Raw on that piece of paper they had attached to a door or wall, whatever the fuck it was. Sorry for swearing, but yeah.
No, you're good. You're good.
Well, as long as we keep it minimal, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
I just don't want to do excessive swearing. We'll say it like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every once in a while.
There's the one slip of the tongue. Sorry.
That's fine.
No, don't worry about it, Liam. We're not gonna make you leave the show or anything like that. You're good.
All right, peace out. No.
But
yeah, I like that they have like Bronson Reed in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, but like
Bobby Lashley.
I get it. Like the Bray Wyatt feud didn't work, but couldn't you have given him something like, I don't know, LA Knight? Something.
Oh, that was something a lot of people wanted was LA Knight versus Bobby Lashley.
They were teasing something between.
I think LA Knight's in line for something bigger at WrestleMania, in my opinion.
I think they were
I would like to see that because I love LA Knight. Before
Kofi Kingston got injured, I think they were teasing something between New Day and LA Knight that was going to happen at WrestleMania.
I mean, they could have still done like a singles match between LA Knight and Xavier Woods.
Yeah.
Maybe at the end of that match, we finally get Big E's return, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm healthy. I'm ready to get back in the ring."
That'd be cool. But at the same time, when I was saying LA Knight is due for something bigger, I meant he's probably going to be in a segment with Stone Cold Steve Austin. And they're going to have a "yeah, what" off.
Oh, I like that.
And then eventually Stone Cold gets bored. And then, it's like, okay, that's enough of that. Let's have some beers. And then he stuns him. And, the whole beer spit spot. And then he panders to the crowd like, yeah, check me out. I just stunned this asshole.
I hope that happens because that would be fantastic.
I just wish Pat McAfee was having a match at Mania again, because I really liked him having a match at Mania until
It was against Vince McMahon.
no, he had a match against Theory at Mania first,
Oh, that is right.
and
Then he
then
beat
Vince,
Theory.
right, and he beat Theory. Like he's won the matches he's been involved in because he beat bum ass Corbin, and then he beat Theory.
Then he lost to
Forgot
Vince.
Corbin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know why they did that. Had Vince have
don't
a
know.
match
Because
That-
like Vince was affiliated with Theory at the time.
that was pointless.
Because
I think that was more like him going, "Oh yeah, look, I gave you a win, right? But know your role."
It's still funny to me that they brought Pat McAfee back for the Royal Rumble and nothing since.
I have a feeling he's going to be on commentary at Mania. It wouldn't feel right to not have Mania without Pat McAfee at this point.
It really wouldn't. So
I would like to see a triple threat between Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and Pat McAfee
oh God.
with special guest referee Byron Saxton.
Good lord.
Oh good God. You want WrestleMania is going against the Final Four on Saturday. You want to know how to give all the ratings to the Final Four? Do that match.
Byron Saxton just slow counting Cole and Corey.
It's supposed to be the biggest WrestleMania of all time, and then we get that.
Yeah.
That would be so weird.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
be.
Although I
not
have
good.
another match added to that to AEW WWE Forbidden Door thing.
Oh
Because
no.
we saw him at the pre-show on Revolution, and we did not like him. Byron Saxton versus RJ City
Oh, God.
What?
Oh,
in a loser quits the business.
oh yeah. What the
And
heck?
it ends in a double count out.
What the heck? Cavs are losing 105-97.
Oh, come on.
Why? Good grief.
Another thing I'm really excited for at Mania is the Demon returns.
Yes.
For the first time since Extreme Rules 2021, was that?
When the rope just randomly broke.
Yeah, that entire match was set to fail. Because, like, what I heard was, like, the original plans for that match were Finn Balor was supposed to win, but not really. Because they had a spot where he was going to pin Roman near the ropes, and the ref couldn't see, but Roman put his hand out. And Paul Heyman was going to call the ref out on, like, hey, his hand is on the rope.
Yeah, but I feel like that doesn't mean rules match.
Well, rope break
Yeah, it
still
doesn't.
counts. Rope break still counts. I mean,
I do like that when they did they still had the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. I liked when they did Roman versus Jey Uso in the Hell in a Cell I Quit match.
that was such a good match, too. If only it was in front of a live crowd.
Yeah, it's a shame.
I feel like they're gonna visit Roman versus Jay again at some point this year.
Oh, yeah. Jay is turning on the bloodline this year. I don't see that as... I see that as more of an inevitability than a possibility.
That's part of the reason why I think Roman and the Usos are both going to lose their titles, is so they can continue that storyline but not have the titles involved.
Right. Have others take the titles and then have Jay turn on the bloodline, have him side with Sammy and KO. Maybe have that 6-man tag match I suggested at Backlash, if not Cody versus Roman 2.
I could see. The problem is, like, there were a couple of years where it was called WrestleMania Backlash, so they did some WrestleMania rematches.
Sometimes it's WrestleMania Backlash, sometimes it's just Backlash. It's inconsistent.
Right. I let's say they have Seth win against Logan,
I don't want them to revisit that feud. If anything, I want them to revisit the feud between Seth and Theory at Backlash.
But if Cody wins via underhanded tactics, then I would say you can do the rematch.
What
Backlash.
what exactly do you mean by underhanded tactics? Do you mean like Cody turns heel?
No, I
As
said
in like a low
no.
blow?
I said Logan.
Oh, you meant Logan. Okay.
Yeah.
Cody.
No, if I did, I meant Logan.
Okay.
Like,
I mean, Cody should win by like the whole underdog story. It's like Roman's unbeatable. Cody has been unbeatable since his return. Who's going to be more unbeatable? Because I don't think Cody's lost a single match since returning to WWE.
Yeah,
he has. Oh, he has?
Has not.
Oh, yeah, he has not. Yes. He even beat someone who was actually undefeated in Solo Sikoa. Or at least undefeated on the main roster. I'm pretty sure he lost in NXT.
Okay, we were talking about this earlier with the Judgment Day, about how everybody has a match at Mania but Damian Priest. It's the same way with the Bloodline.
Solo's not ready for Mania. I'm just going to outright say it. Solo is not ready for Mania. He has yet to prove anything on the main roster other than, oh, I'm just Roman Reigns' enforcer. I got to say what the Tribal Chief does and act like I'm the new generation Umaga.
Well,
that's
the thing,
all
right?
his character is.
That is what it is right now. But
yes,
what Cody said in his promo last week on Raw, or whenever it was, he said everybody's going to leave Roman. Solo will probably be the last to leave him.
That's exactly what I think is going to happen. I think Jay's going to leave first, then Jimmy, and then by Survivor Series, Solo.
By the way, Chris, it's now 105-103.
Comeback season.
Yes, but there's still 6:17 to go in the fourth quarter.
Okay, that's enough time.
So we'll see. But anyway,
when it comes to, all right, let's talk about all the titles on the line, and let's put it most likely to be defended to least likely to be defended.
Okay.
So most likely to be defended, I'm putting Theory.
Yeah.
He's almost guaranteed to win. Next most likely, I think Roman and Cody split 50-50.
Okay.
I'd put that on second.
I would say U.S. Championship 1. I would say Intercontinental Championship is 2.
Do you think there's a chance that Gunther will retain?
Yes, because I think there's a chance Gunther will retain because Drew and Sheamus are going to be so focused on destroying each other
that Gunther's just going to be like, you both are down? Okay, I'll just pin one of you and win.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could see that happening. I have the Intercontinental Champion behind Roman and Cody just because it's a triple threat. Anything can happen. We saw that with the TNT triple threat at Full Gear.
Right.
Nobody thought going in Samoa Joe was going to win.
Right. I thought Powerhouse Hobbs was going to win at that match.
I had Hobbs as well.
But we've got Hobbs now. But anyway,
going back to, I think the next most likely to be retained is Charlotte Flair. Like Rhea is most likely to win, but there's this little part of my head that has like this bit of doubt that's like, wait,
we took the lead.
Yes. There's this little part of my brain that's like doubting. It's like, no. Rhea's a Raw superstar. She can't win the SmackDown Women's Championship. That would make no sense.
Yeah, but
so-
then there's a draft after WrestleMania.
Yes.
Judgment Day goes to SmackDown. Simple as.
Oh yeah, Bork reminded.
Oh,
Dave-
he is a former NXT North American champion.
Yeah. Ooh, I like this. Ricochet versus Montez Ford.
Or
Or-
Mello versus-
No,
Whenever
no.
Mello
I
gets
want to see Ricochet versus Wesley.
that, do that. That's a great fatal 4-way right there.
Montez, Wesley,
Ricochet.
Ricochet. I will do that in WWE 2K23.
That will be that. If that's not a WrestleMania worthy match, I don't know what is.
Take your physics textbooks
And
and
throw
throw them out the window. They no longer make sense after that match.
that like what we're gonna see when Darby Allin, Jungle Boy, Sammy Guevara, and MJF.
Well,
Face
you got
off.
3 high flyers and then MJF.
Yes,
I have not seen MJF do any high flying.
it's now 110 to 109 Atlanta.
Darn. Okay, so then who's
Okay, so
next most likely to be defended? I'd say the tag titles. Like,
I put Bianca there actually.
I have Bianca as the least likely. Like, she has a 0% chance of retaining. Because what's there left for her to do as Raw Women's Champion? She's beaten everyone on the Raw Women's roster in some fashion or another.
Right.
Including Asuka at one point.
Yeah, including Asuka. But Asuka could get her revenge. And not only do we have a fresh champion, not only do we have a fresh set of challengers, you could do other storylines.
Is Asuka meant to be a heel or is she a tweener?
Well, the original version of her current character was a heel, but I think she's more of a tweener here.
There's the thing though. They're teasing her like losing her mind, if that makes sense. Like she's getting
That's exactly what the
more
original
into the
character was.
She's getting more and more into the character than after she beats Bianca for the Raw Women's Championship at Mania. Because I agree with Seaboss. I think it's 100% a certainty that happens. And then after Mania, she will be like an unstoppable force type of heel.
And then and then eventually down the line, that's when you bring back Alexa Bliss. Then you have this unstoppable force in Asuka, meaning an unstoppable force in Alexa Bliss.
I mean, they were a tag team at one point, but
why were they a tag team? Also, I just want to report on this. It's sad that Nikki Cross doesn't have anything at Mania. I love Nikki Cross. She is just the right amount of crazy that it's just like, yeah, I like her because she's crazy.
Yeah. They were teasing something between her and
Candice LeRae.
No, and Piper Niven.
Really? Because I she's been in this background of like several of like Candice LeRae's promos. There was like a Dexter Loomis like had a drawing of something about Nikki Cross stealing Johnny Gargano and and Candice LeRae's child, which is a whole other can of worms that I do not want to open because we already had one Gargano home invasion with Grayson Waller. We don't need another one with Nikki Cross.
And we also had the home invasion, Edge and Seth Rollins when Seth invaded Edge's home during their feud.
I'm talking about just for Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae. We already had one leading up to the Mania weekend. We didn't need a second. Although it would have been weird to see Nikki Cross in the background. And you know what I was hoping with the whole Grayson Waller, Johnny Gargano home invasion? Dexter Loomis just comes out of the bushes and just puts Grayson Waller to sleep.
I think that match at Stand and Deliver is going to be an unsanctioned match.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. I mean, I don't mind it. Gargano's on the main roster. He doesn't need to prove anything more in NXT.
That's why I'm wondering. Like, why they're doing this match at Stand and Deliver.
Because Grayson Waller is not ready for the main roster. I'm just going to go ahead and say that.
No,
There's very few people currently in NXT that are main roster ready. Carmelo Hayes, Braun Breaker, you could say the former Toxic Attraction. I would love to see Gigi and JC tear it up on the main roster.
No, here's my thing. I'm not saying like do the match between Grayson Waller and Gargano at Mania. Like we were talking about this earlier. Like,
you wanted a different feud for Gargano.
Correct.
Why did this whole feud come about in the first place?
It's because when Gargano originally left NXT, like recently, it was Grayson Waller who attacked Gargano.
Oh, so they're doing the same storyline they did with Aleister Black, because Gargano was the one who attacked Aleister Black on the orders of Tommaso Ciampa.
Which, is Tommaso Ciampa still injured?
Unfortunately.
Because I was kind of liking him being paired with The Miz.
That was weird, though.
The
Miz has had too many freaking sidekicks. Let's see. He had the Miz Taraj, which was Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel,
who later turned into the B team.
Right.
B team, go, go, go.
He's had Baron Corbin as a lackey.
Ooh, it's 112-111 with 3 minutes to go in the fourth.
Who take lead?
Atlanta.
Dang. Let's see. Bronson Reed is kind of acting like a lackey. He had Morrison as a tag partner, and they stole the Money in the Bank briefcase from Otis.
Yeah, and then Miz turned that into the WWE Championship.
Which lasted all of what, like a minute before Bobby Lashley came down and took it from him?
Yes.
Who did he cash in on?
Drew.
Oh, he did cash in on Drew. Okay.
Right.
Here's a feud I'd like to revisit at some point in time. Just do it properly this time, WWE. AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura. Do it properly, because a lot of fans were upset about how their first feud went with, low blows from Shinsuke.
Okay, Liam. The Bruins lost to the Predators.
Wait, what?
Okay, Liam. Seaboss and I were talking about this earlier. If AJ Styles wasn't injured, do you think he would have a match at WrestleMania? You there, Liam?
Am I here?
Oh, yeah. No, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
My phone was just locked, so that's probably why it was like bugging out a bit. Okay.
So,
do you think AJ would have a match at Mania
if he wasn't injured?
I don't know. Like, I feel like he'd be in like an awkward sort of limbo position, like kind of like Damien Priest is, but maybe he could have had. That could have been instead of Logan and Seth, right? I feel like instead of that could have been AJ Logan. Logan could have gotten a win back, but now that he's up against Seth, I think Seth wins.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Seth needs to win too.
He hasn't won at Mania since, what was that, 35?
Yeah. What's up, George? Yeah, we were talking about this earlier. Seth hasn't won at Mania since Mania 35.
So I absolutely think that for the sake of Seth Rollins and everything, he wins here at Mania.
Yeah, Seth needs to. Also, yeah, that is correct. Logan Paul's contract is up after Mania. So my guess is they're going to renew it because he's been good in WWE. I don't know why it took them so long
to turn him heel.
Yes, he should have been a heel right away.
I mean, that spot he had at the Royal Rumble with Ricochet, I think that has already become like one of the biggest spots of the year in all of wrestling.
Which at the time, clearly they were teasing the feud between him and Seth. But at the time when they did that spot, I was thinking, okay, maybe they're going to do that match at WrestleMania.
I wouldn't mind seeing Logan. Well, I don't want to see Logan versus Ricochet at Mania. I don't think that's a Mania-worthy feud unless they build it up. But I would like to see Ricochet and Logan have a match at some point.
Right. Again, I'm not saying they should have done a match between Ricochet and Logan, but all I'm simply saying is
maybe save that maybe have them like tease it again at Money in the Bank. Put Logan and Ricochet in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Which, by the way, who do you guys think could potentially be Mr. Money in the Bank this year?
It's good. It's hard because it depends on what they do at Mania. If they keep it on Roman, which maybe there's a possibility they do that.
Maybe they put Cody as much. Maybe they make Cody win the briefcase, and then say at King of the Ring, Roman has had a hard fought match and has like beaten everyone down. He's become King of the Ring, and then all of a sudden, Cody's music hits and he cashes in and beats Roman at King of the Ring.
I feel like if Cody doesn't win here, it would be kind of hard to build him back up to a title match, honestly.
So what you're saying is, what you're agreeing with me on is he has to win here or he's not going to be a WWE champion.
Yes. Oh, and I guess Liam left. Okay.
Yeah.
Right now, a possible foul is being reviewed in the Cavs-Hawks game. Cavs are up 113 to 112 with 2:14 to go in the fourth quarter. Oh, okay. We lost you for a minute.
Yeah, I think that if Cody doesn't win here, he may never get a WWE championship shot again.
At least this time he didn't put that stipulation on himself, because that's what really screwed him in AEW.
Oh, absolutely. That stipulation was dumb, and I mean, yes, it prevented him from being AEW World Champion, but he still was a 3-4-time TNT champion.
Right, but you couldn't, because he put that stipulation on himself, you couldn't put him in like bigger programs.
Right, you couldn't put him on the main event against guys like Jon Moxley, Kenny Omega, Hangman Adam Page,
right,
Chris Jericho to an extent.
Well, right. Whereas, like here, like I don't know if they could build back up to Roman versus Cody after what they've been doing.
That's why, if not Cody, it will be Gunther.
What I think could happen is, I think all 3 belts are going to change hands. Or I guess technically all 4 belts.
I think they should just unify the tag titles into bring back the Big Penny, bring it back.
But either way, I think what could happen is, instead of doing a championship matches at Backlash, you do the 6-man tag team match. Usos and Roman versus Cody, KO
and Sammy.
Right.
And then there you have Jay turn on Roman.
That could be a good way to do it.
But what do you do with Solo?
I don't know. What do you think, Liam?
I feel like if they were, say hypothetically, they were going to do that, Solo would be there. He'd be ringside, obviously, or something.
Right.
Or he'd get involved in some way, but as we
and
said
obviously
right
Paul
now,
Heyman would get involved as well, because it's Paul Heyman. And
But as
I
we
see a
said,
lot of people say that like Paul Heyman's going to leave Roman if he loses the titles. Did you not see how long he stuck by Brock, even though Brock didn't have a title? Even when Brock didn't have a title, Paul Heyman was still by his side. Paul Heyman's not going to leave Roman for a while. That duo is probably the most interesting television I've ever seen Paul Heyman be a part of, not involving that segment with R-Truth before the Royal Rumble.
It is the most interesting duo in the world. Dos Equis.
I know you're a big man, but I know you'll go flying over that top rope, Paul Heyman.
It's kind of what.
Apparently, after that promo segment, Brock Lesnar wanted to enter a program with R-Truth.
Oh, good God.
Allegedly. Just because R-Truth made him break. Also, speaking of making wrestlers break, apparently that's how the People's Elbow was born. Because the entire WWE locker room wanted to make The Undertaker break, and they put it on the shoulders of The Rock to do it. And that's why the most electrifying move in all of sports entertainment was born, because The Rock was trying to make The Undertaker break character.
1 minute to go. Hawks up 117 to 115. Never mind, it's 119 to 115.
Darn. But yes, I absolutely think that not necessarily every title is going to change hands at Mania, but the major ones, the tag titles, both women's titles, and the WWE and Universal Championships are most likely going to change hands.
Yeah, I think the Raw Women's Championship is the most likely to change. I would say U.S. Championship is least likely to change.
Absolutely. And then everything else is kind of just there in the middle. Like, yes, it most likely will change hands, but there's this little fraction of doubt in your mind that it's not.
So let me ask you this. Overall, which matches are you more interested in? The title matches or the non-title matches?
For me, it's title matches.
well, yeah, pretty much the same for me, but I'm very interested. I'm actually quite interested in Brock Lesnar versus Omos, because the feud, while it's been horrible, right? Kind of horrible. There's been some moments where it's like, that's comedy gold. Like the fact they've even done that, that's funny. You know?
Yes.
Yeah,
And
like they
then-
did an actual weigh-in and then just started fighting and then Brock retreating for some reason, even though, I don't know.
And then also, I'm very excited for Finn Balor versus Edge.
I am as well. That is my personal. That is the match that I'm most excited for. That's not a title match, and it's because I love Finn Balor and I absolutely love Edge, and we're getting like versions of them that are from a dark place. That is where the Hell in a Cell was born.
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing. But if they're bringing the demon back, I'm of the opinion Edge should be putting Finn Balor over. Like, he wins the feud overall. After that, Hell in a Cell is where feuds end. Finn Balor wins, and he's over after that because he's basically.
I mean, you have to have the demon win. The demon shouldn't be able to lose a match. It's like the Fiend. Those two should be unstoppable forces that are only brought out when Bray or Finn, their back is against the wall. It's like, if I could point you guys to a video, how Adam would book the Fiend from Parts Unknown.
I've seen it. It's very good.
Yes, he books the Fiend like it's basically like how Finn used to book the Demon in NXT. Basically, he would lose the match as his regular self, but then bring the Demon out, and all of a sudden, the other person is in the position that Finn was originally.
Yeah, but the way
Donovan
they
Mitchell missed
handled,
what could have been possibly the game winner, and Atlanta just got the rebound and is fouled. So it's 119 to 118.
Dang.
So we'll see what happens. But continue.
Yes.
well, as
So
I was saying, it's like the way the Demon's been handled on the main roster, like obviously, especially the Fiend as well. Like both of them, is like no spooky characters of any ilk since the Undertaker have ever like they've lost more than the Undertaker ever did, basically. But like even so, Undertaker would lose matches, but then obviously they would build it into a larger overarching story where he could grab his revenge. But then again with the Demon, I feel like they had to make him be like normal Finn Balor again, so that he can be made to feel like he can win on his own as a credible wrestler, a credible sports entertainer, I guess, as well. But then, which he has done very well the last 18 months or so, I would say.
Oh yeah,
That's
this Judgment Day storyline has really built up Finn Balor
Yeah.
as a character, and it honestly makes me think back to his days in New Japan as Prince Devitt.
The problem with this feud, though, is like one, it's been too much of Edge going away and then returning, and then like they've already had their I Quit match.
They
And-
had the spot at the Royal Rumble. They had the mixed tag match at the Elimination Chamber.
Right, like this feud should be over. Like that's why for me, like as much as I love that they're doing this Hell in a Cell match, and trust me, like it's gonna be great, but I just don't care a lot because the feud's gone on for too long.
Apparently, from what I heard, the I Quit match was supposed to be the last match, because AJ Styles and the Good Brothers then entered their program with the Judgment Day, and it was supposed to build up to AJ versus Finn at Mania, but AJ got injured, and so WWE panicked and they brought Edge back.
that makes a lot of sense, honestly.
It does, but I would have so much preferred Edge or not Edge, AJ versus Finn. Even if they didn't have the Hell in a Cell stipulation, like doing just a straight up singles match between Edge, I keep saying Edge, between
Finn Balor and AJ Styles.
Correct.
They have history. And even if the Judgment Day gets involved, AJ's got a crew of his own. He has Gallows, Anderson, and Mia Yim. He has the OC to come in and deal with Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, and Rhea Ripley.
Right.
Because that's what happened in their match at Survivor Series.
Right. That's how the Judgment Day was formed, was at Mania last year. Damian Priest got involved with...
I need to ask, was that match at Mania 38, was that a hair versus hair match, and that's why Edge has short hair?
No. Atlanta wins 120 to 118.
Dang. But why did Edge decide to go short hair all of a sudden? He's had long hair his whole career.
Well, I guess why not? You know, it's like sometimes people need a change, and
Yeah.
especially Edge's character over the last year or so, he's been bouncing back and forth between rated R and dark versions of himself and all the rest of it. So
Because like the Judgment Day was kind of a new version of the Brood.
Yeah.
in a way, yeah, less
That part-
vampiric, but yeah, more
Yeah.
like gothic,
More gothic than
angsty
vampiric.
teenagers.
We never did
Yeah.
find out what the Wyatt Six was.
We never will, I don't think.
I don't think we will. Like the only thing we're banking on is Uncle Howdy is Bo Dallas and Alexa Bliss is somehow involved. That's the only thing we're banking on.
Obviously, I don't wish bad health on anyone, but so don't take this the wrong way, but I'm kind of happy they're not doing this match at WrestleMania because the program wasn't very good anyway. Like Bobby Lashley
Just remember, Uncle Howdy missed LA Knight by a mile.
And that program stunk too.
It had fantastic build-up, and then the match was just a 2-minute dud, and then an Uncle Howdy spot that missed the mark, literally.
I wouldn't say the build up to that match was fantastic. It was.
I mean, there was like it had its moments. It had its moments.
It had its moments, but overall it was just okay. But like for me, Bobby Lashley deserved. Again, no disrespect to Bray Wyatt, because he's great. But like
he's a character-based wrestler in a industry-based profession.
Something like that. And I just didn't think that was a good combo of him against Bobby. Like I was just like, no, I don't
If
see
you're gonna do a Bobby Lashley thing, make it either involve the Hurt Business or make it involve Bobby Lashley versus another big guy.
See, here's something I would have done. Bobby versus Gunther for the IC championship.
I like that, but Sheamus and Drew makes more sense because they've been feuding with Imperium.
No, I know.
For a while since Clash at the Castle.
No, I know. I'm not saying like
long-term storytelling, man. It gets you in a spot where it's like, I want this match, but I also want this match, but I also want that match.
Oh, you could have done that. Like, since Damian Priest doesn't have a WrestleMania match, there you go. Bobby Lashley versus Damian Priest. Done.
But where's the build-up? What are you gonna have Bobby Lashley interrupt the Judgment Day?
God damn it.
They're all gonna gang up on him and he's gonna toss him aside. And then you get to Damian Priest and then
screw you storytelling.
Screw you storytelling. I'm going home.
Screw you guys. I'm going home.
But you see, you need build up to a Mania feud. And that's why Brock versus Omos. The match might be one of the greatest matches of all time, but in terms of the lead up, it's just a flop.
Like last night, they were supposed to do a weigh-in. Omos comes out to do the weigh-in, and Brock just says, "Yeah, no, I'm not doing. Screw this weigh-in."
And then he just beats him up.
Yes.
With the weight thing itself.
Yeah, with the scale.
Which was hilarious, by the way. Which is why I said, in terms of comedy in the build, it's been great. Because it's just been all Brock being funny. So.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
That's why I think Brock is going to get the win. And
I like Brock's cowboy character. Remember, he brought a whole tractor to SummerSlam in what I think was a last man standing match.
Yes. Because remember, he lifted up the entire freaking ring and made Roman go tumbling out.
Yes,
like something out of Looney Tunes.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's that. When I saw that,
again,
I'm like,
there was a time where Roman cut a promo saying suffering succotash. That long-term storytelling.
Suffering succotash. Darn it,
and
I
then
can't
they do a Looney Tunes-esque spot years later.
Yes.
Yeah, long-term storytelling, man. You never know.
That was like a Wile E. Coyote spot.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Meep.
No, that's the Roadrunner.
I know. Wile E. Coyote doesn't say anything.
He does, but he doesn't have a catchphrase. Like, if you look at the other Looney Tunes, you got Bugs Bunny. And what's up, Doc? You got...
Wait, you didn't do it right. It's... What's up, Doc?
Yeah. You've got Daffy Duck with "You're despicable."
Yes. And
you've got Elmer Fudd.
I thought I saw a pussycat.
I thought I saw a putty tat. That is that's Tweety Bird. Then you've got the cat, Sylvester. Suffering succotash.
Suffering succotash.
Then you have Elmer Fudd with "Shh, be very, very quiet.
I'm
hunting rabbits.
Okay, I don't know how this conversation got into freaking Looney Tunes.
I don't know.
My
We've been
bad.
going.
But who do you think will be the biggest winner and the biggest loser at WrestleMania?
Ooh,
Biggest winner, Cody Rhodes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Obviously.
Like
for
in
obvious
terms of where they can go going forward with their character, I think the biggest loser in terms of going forward with their character might be Omos. Because I don't know what to do with him after Mania.
I would actually say Bianca, because if you take the title off of her, what's there for her to do? She already feuded with Alexa, already feuded with Bailey.
Already feuded with Becky, already feuded with Asuka. She's literally feuded with the entire Rollins, unless you draft her to SmackDown.
And you give her new stuff over there, then
You give her, she's got Liv Morgan to work with, Raquel Rodriguez, Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler, Natalia, Charlotte Flair. If
but
we're
Rhea
going,
would go over there as well.
Rhea would go over there as well. So
they
you've
can
got Rhea
revisit
to work
the Rhea
with.
thing.
Yeah, SmackDown has more to do with their women's roster than Raw does.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Like, why? That's a criticism I have for both AEW and WWE. It feels like neither of them really focus on the women's divisions.
I mean, but like,
I'd say WWE does it more because they're featured regularly on programming every week.
And they have a women's tag title. They have Queen of the Ring.
Yeah, but think about it. Like, for all the non-title matches we have in WrestleMania, only one is women's match, because I'm not counting the showcase match.
By the way, what does King or Queen of the Ring get you? Doesn't it get you a guaranteed title shot?
No, I think it's
it used to.
Yeah, it used to.
I
remember that's how King Booker became WWE champion.
Oh,
and that's how Kurt Angle became WWE champion.
That was one of my first.
Kurt was WWE champion. Booker T was World Heavyweight champion.
That was one of my first experiences for WWE. There was this segment where it's "All hail King Booker."
Oh, that was his wife.
It was really weird.
Charmise, I think her name is.
Charmel.
Yeah, Charmel.
She was inducted into the Hall of Fame, I believe, last year.
Yep.
I wish.
So I think King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring should get you a guaranteed title shot still.
It's like where I've always said that the idea of, like, don't get me wrong, King and Queen of the Ring, I've always said they should get somebody a world title shot at some point.
Oh yeah, like, but for like the most recent Queen of the Ring, Zelina Vega, I don't think that would have been realistic.
It's just to give them like a new character for a few months. It feels like a placeholder gimmick, just so they can eventually go back to their old
and to make more music, because the King, because King Woods, Xavier Woods finally got a solo theme outside of his New Day theme.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel like for Kofi's last match, he should walk out to SOS.
That'd be cool, but that's not gonna be for a little while yet. I don't think.
Yeah, because he's still got a lot in the tank.
I'm just glad he's gotten away from that Jamaican character.
I love the first promo he cut. I think they were debating what was it, Survivor Series, and he's like, "Well, guys, we have to work together, otherwise we're gonna lose." And then Triple H is like, "I got a question. Matter of fact, I got a problem. Aren't you supposed to be Jamaican? What happened to your accent?"
I thought that was Shawn Michaels.
No, that was Triple H.
I thought it was Randy who said it. Okay.
No, I at first thought it was. I actually thought it was Shawn Michaels too, but no, it was Hunter.
I like what Bork said. R-Truth can beat Roman.
Absolutely, he can, because he is the greatest 24/7, 48/7, 7-Eleven, I-95, and Kentucky European television champion.
I like that they just got rid of the 24/7 championship.
No, what's even funnier is Nikki Cross botched that spot. She was supposed to throw it into the trash can. It missed the trash can.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You know what?
That's
though?
why.
In a way, it worked because she was basically back to her crazy gimmick, so it kind of
Oh,
worked.
absolutely.
So-
Nikki ASH was a mistake. I'm going to just go on and say right now. Nikki ASH was an absolute mistake.
I didn't mind her being the Raw Women's Champion, but not with that character.
She was Raw Women's Champion. When?
You see, you forget stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, she won Money in the Bank and cashed in. I forget who was champion at the time, but she cashed it. She cashed in on the Raw Women's Champion, became champion. Yep.
It might have been like
It was
Rhea
just like
Ripley.
it was
It might
just
have been Rhea Ripley.
It was
I know they were women's tag champions at one point, Rhea
It might have
and
been
Nikki.
Rhea. It might have been Rhea Ripley or like Alexa
That
Bliss or
sound-
somebody like that.
It sounds like it was one of those two, because those are the only two she's had like established both tag team connections and feud connections with.
Hold on, I can probably look it up on my trusty YouTube. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't remember because it was a long time ago, and I say this in the server all the time. I always completely forget things because they happened a long time ago.
Oh, absolutely.
And also because they were not that memorable because the person who then won said title belt went nowhere afterwards. So
She either cashed in on Charlotte or Rhea. It was one of the.
Right.
It was on Charlotte.
Oh, it was?
wow.
Huh.
Yeah, it was on Charlotte.
You would think they would make more of a big deal after the fact, but no, because Vince was in charge, especially in like the last, as I said, in the last 5 to 6 years, I've said it multiple times.
Yeah, he took Triple H, like Triple H's people down in NXT, and made jokes of them.
Apart from a few. But
Apart from a few, like Seth Rollins. Well, I mean, I feel like Triple H had more input on what they did with Seth Rollins, because that was Triple H's first champion in NXT was Seth Rollins.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
It was him. Then he lost to
Big
Finn
E.
Balor,
Yeah, I
didn't he?
think it was Big E.
Oh yeah, it was Big E. And then Big E lost it to either Finn Balor or Samoa Joe.
I think it was to Samoa Joe.
I have to go back and watch that match then, because Big E versus Samoa Joe, that sounds like a great match.
I'm
I
pretty
don't know.
sure they.
I don't know because Kevin Owens was before Finn Balor. So
And Sami Zayn was before Kevin Owens.
Okay, so
Sami Zayn won the NXT Championship the night Kevin Owens debuted.
let me say this. I'm excited that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are going to become tag team champions.
But how long before KO turns on Sami again?
Not even that. I would have preferred KO to stay as a singles wrestler.
Absolutely. I love Kevin Owens as a singles wrestler, but it makes sense with the storyline.
No, it absolutely does. But you were saying earlier that you don't think Solo Sikoa is ready for WrestleMania. I think they could have built that matchup as a Mania match, Kevin Owens versus Solo Sikoa.
I'm on the fence about it, because you're right. They would absolutely beat the snot out of each other. But is Solo really ready for the grandest stage?
I mean,
I'm hesitant to think so.
he's only been on the main roster for like 6 months or something. So
right.
And
yeah.
I do get that criticism. Again, I'm not like disappointed about it, but at the same time, it feels like
he's only like been on one Big Four pay-per-view,
right.
that being Survivor Series.
Right. I get that. I hear everything you're saying. It's just that to me, it feels like a bit of a missed opportunity.
Oh, absolutely. But just think of the storyline. Think of everything that's led to this moment, and then you really see this has to happen.
No,
KO
again,
and Sammy have to be here at WrestleMania. They have to dethrone the Usos.
but again, let me ask you this. Like I said to you earlier in the show, what's next? Like,
Maybe they split the titles. Maybe they keep one set of titles. Maybe Sammy gets drafted to Raw with KO. They keep the Raw titles. And maybe on that SmackDown, they drop the tag titles to someone like Imperium or Braun Strowman and Ricochet.
And I would ask again. I asked you this earlier. What's next for Cody? Like, he wins the title. He beats Roman. Then what? It's like there's not a story after this penultimate moment.
But that's the thing, though. That's the thing about WrestleMania, right? It's the end of lots of long-term stories, and then the Raw after Mania is where they start anew. It's like a new calendar year almost every time. So
Yeah, Mania.
whatever they do on we have to wait until the Raw after Mania to see how everything unfolds. For the
Mania
next.
is the Super Bowl of wrestling.
That part is true.
Every storyline comes to head after the Super Bowl for the NFL.
Okay, so let me ask you this. I guess we'll finish the show off on this because we're already at 2 hours and 45 minutes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. That's what happens when you put Seaboss and I together. We don't shut up.
Pretty much. We've annoyed our friends with that.
What do you for the 4 AEW pay-per-views? You've got Revolution, Double or Nothing, All Out, Full Gear. Which one would you say is equivalent to WrestleMania?
A lot of people point to Double or Nothing. So that technically was the show that started AEW, because that was AEW's first pay-per-view. That's their biggest pay-per-view. It's in Vegas for a reason,
Yeah. I would actually say All Out is there.
Well,
It's between them
yes.
two. It's between them two.
You can go All Out because of All In.
Right. Have you guys heard the report, actually? I think I mentioned this in the
that
server.
They're going to move All out of Now Arena.
Yeah.
I don't think they're moving it out of Chicago. I think they're moving it to the United Center.
No, I read that they might move it out of Chicago.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I can see
that. It's like I appreciate that AEW likes to do the thing where they stick to cities, but at the same time, you don't see other wrestling promotions do that with their pay-per-views. They always deviate to different cities every year.
Right, and that's what they do with Revolution, AEW.
Right, and with Full Gear.
So they need to start doing it more with
because Full Gear was in Minneapolis last year or something, and this year it was in
New Jersey.
Right, because David was there.
I absolutely think that they should start doing that. I think maybe keep Double or Nothing in Vegas because there's that whole gambling motif.
Right.
And Vegas is a city with a lot of casinos. So maybe that's the one pay-per-view you keep in one city, but the other three you constantly move around. And you know what? I'll throw Forbidden Door in there. It's practically become a fifth pay-per-view for AEW.
Which they're doing Forbidden Door. Well,
Forbidden Door in Toronto.
Right. I can't say Forbidden Door is for sure a fifth pay-per-view for AEW because this is only the second one.
But the fact that they're doing 2 years in a row means that it's most likely going to stick around for a while.
It just depends how long they keep their partnership with New Japan. That's
maybe they could branch out to other wrestling promotions for
WWE's not going to do it.
I didn't necessarily say WWE. They could reach out to Impact. They already
did that.
But they could do it again.
Fair.
They could reach out to maybe do a women's only Forbidden Door with Stardom. A lot of AEW's women's roster has spent time in Stardom. Toni Storm, Riho, Shida.
I think I
Um,
saw they're doing a women's title match, actually. Jamie Hayter versus Riho on Dynamite.
hmm And I'd like to see this at Forbidden Door. I'd like to see Jamie Hayter versus Mercedes Moné. AEW Women's Champion versus IWGP Women's Champion.
I think I saw Mercedes Moné's contract with New Japan is already up soon.
She's going to resign. She's their champion.
And she's defending in a triple threat against, I forget who the other two wrestlers are.
Is Kyrie in that match?
No.
Dang. She's the one that Mercedes took it from.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know any of, I don't know a whole lot of New Japan's women because a lot of them come over to AEW anyways.
Right. That's why
and Kyrie Sane or Sane? Sane. She was actually an NXT product. Fun fact.
That's part of the reason why I didn't buy Forbidden Door last year, and I'm probably not gonna buy Forbidden Door this year.
I'll watch it with you.
I just don't know. I just don't know enough of like the New Japan wrestlers to where like I would get invested in the matches and all that.
A lot of them have gotten exposure in the past year on Dynamite, so you might be more familiar with some of them. Like, you're obviously familiar with Mercedes Moné and United Empire, which is Aussie Open and Will Ospreay. We've seen them live in person, Josh.
Yes, I know. I bet you at this year's Forbidden Door, they're going to do the rematch between Kenny and Will
Ospreay.
That's if Will Ospreay can recover from his shoulder injury. Will Ospreay's got a very serious shoulder injury right now. Apparently it's worse than first feared. So
that is very true. But if he does recover from that in time, I would like that's probably going to be the main event. If not, then Kota Ibushi versus MJF, IWGP World Champion versus AEW World Champion.
Kota Ibushi's not IWGP Champion. That's Okada.
Oh, yeah, it is Okada. I don't know why I said Ibushi. It's Okada because he took it from Jay White at Wrestle Kingdom, which, by the way, that was a fantastic match. But I feel like the crowd wasn't into it because of the Kenny Omega Will Ospreay match that went on immediately beforehand.
You were bringing up Jay White. Do you think let's say he's signed with WWE, does he make his debut at Mania?
Raw after.
So you don't think we get any debuts or returns at Mania then?
No. I think everything Raw after Mania is exclusively where debuts and returns happen normally. So
for the most part, yes.
Yeah. The Raw after Mania is usually the biggest show of the year for Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
How come they don't make a big deal of SmackDown after Mania?
I don't know. I feel like it was pretty big a few years ago, especially like when Nakamura debuted. That felt
yeah.
Because hardcore wrestling fans are always in town for WrestleMania week and after. So
yeah.
For like the next two shows anyway.
I mean, I remember when AJ Styles debuted at the Royal Rumble, people lost their minds. And it wasn't just because of the New Japan work, it was the TNA.
I loved how Roman reacted. Like AJ Styles' music hit and he started squinting like, what?
It's because nothing came up on the Tron at first, then it went, I am phenomenal, and then everyone just went, wow!
Everyone lost their minds. I think it was the biggest pop in Royal Rumble history, or at least one of them.
They were just like, oh my god, this is actually happening. He's finally here. It took him like 20,
AJ Styles is
like 10 years, but here we are.
That would have
finally AJ Styles.
That would have been a great WrestleMania feud. Him against Bobby Lashley.
One of my favorite feuds of AJ Styles was SummerSlam 2016 against Cena. And mostly I'm saying that is because that was one of my favorite matches in the John Cena showcase this year in 2K23 was that Styles match. It is so much fun. They made AJ Styles one of the most fun characters to play as in 2K23.
I want to get 2K23, but even if I use the gift card you gave me, it would still cost $50.
Yeah, I bought it for only like $64 at pre-order.
I'm just like, no, Like, I'd rather get NBA 2K23 because right now that's on sale for like $23.
Right. But that game
Whereas,
came out months ago. 2K23 WWE 2K23 just came out like
yeah, that's
a
why
couple weeks ago.
I might wait to get it until it goes on sale and it's a more reasonable price.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm probably gonna get it next month because it's my birthday next month, so I'll probably
Yeah.
get it then.
I did. I got WWE 2K23 when it was on sale. So
I think,
or 2K22. Sorry.
yeah, I know Dalton was suggesting some way for me to for you to sign into my PS4 and I would have
Then
2K.
download it.
Yeah, but
I don't feel no.
no,
I
that's
don't
just
feel.
too complicated.
Yeah.
So yeah, no,
Plus, you do have 2K22, don't you?
no, I don't have any WWE 2 games.
Oh, huh.
No,
Have you actually ever played any?
He's played 2K Battlegrounds and 22 at my apartment, so
Oh, okay, cool.
yeah.
yeah.
So I'm familiar.
His first match he played at Seth Rollins. I don't remember who he was facing. He was facing God, who the hell were you facing?
Oh, I don't know.
But you lost, and then I showed up. I think it was I was Shawn Michaels against Happy Corbin, and I kicked Corbin's ass.
That was fairly easy though, isn't it? It's
That-
literally one of the greatest of all time versus a jobber. So
Yeah.
I think they're going back to the sad Corbin character.
I love that. I loved that character so much when he lost King of the Ring to Shinsuke.
Yes.
it's very sad.
So funny.
I think it's actually quite sad what's happened to Baron Corbin.
No, absolutely. He went from King of the Ring. He went from being a total joke. Actually, no. He went from one of my favorite characters,
The Lone Wolf.
the Lone Wolf, to a piece of shit manager, general manager,
To Happy Corbin. Or no.
to King of the Ring, to Sad Corbin, to Happy Corbin, back to Baron Corbin.
Paired with JBL.
Paired with JBL for some reason. Although they haven't been doing that pairing.
He's past the point of no return, I feel like.
Well, yeah.
Why
there's no
not
way
just
they
have
can
him
ever
grow out
be
his
built back
hair
up.
again and go back to the Lone Wolf character?
I don't think he can grow out his hair ever again. It was already it was going backwards, bro. Like when your hair
That is
starts
fair.
going backwards, you can't recover. Trust me.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't know, but I'm getting there. So
That's
We know of a YouTuber who used to have hair, but it's no longer there. Simon Miller.
oh yeah.
yeah, I know Simon. Yeah.
Yep, I watch his that's how I keep up to date on wrestling with no cable. It's just I wait till the next day and watch Simon Miller's video on it.
Well, ups and downs.
Yep, that's how I also have been keeping up on the Ring of Honor show was ups and downs. Because I'm not paying for Honor Club.
They for a few weeks they had the full shows on the Honor Club YouTube channel, but those aren't on there anymore for some reason.
Yeah, I think it's because they want the paid service.
Yeah, and
Gotta
I'm sorry.
make that dollar somehow.
Sorry, but I'm not paying for Honor Club. And I know
I don't watch Ring of Honor anyways. I never watched Ring of Honor.
they're doing the Ring of Honor pay-per-view on Friday in Los Angeles.
I don't think a whole lot of people are gonna watch it because you cannot sell me on Claudio versus Eddie Kingston. I'm sorry. You can't. That is probably the hardest sale you'll ever make. The promos, from what I've seen, have not been very good. They've been very one-sided. Claudio still is not. Claudio really has gone backwards on his promos. Like his promo work as Cesaro was phenomenal. Now he can't really cut one. It's sad.
Yeah. I think we're gonna wrap things up because we've almost hit 3 hours and
Yeah.
holy crap.
I mean, this was the biggest show we've done, so it makes sense that it would go on for as long as it has.
Yeah. Liam, thank you so much for joining, but we're gonna say goodbye now.
Yeah, thanks
No
for joining us, man.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's been an honor.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
All right. So hope you enjoyed this show. That again, this is our biggest show of the year. That's why we went on for so long. But we'll see you next week. We're gonna review WrestleMania. I'm sure we'll have other stories. Major League Baseball is opening on Thursday.
This Thursday or next Thursday?
This Thursday.
Oh shit.
Guardians
shit.
open their season in Seattle against the Mariners.
No, I bet you'll just have a lot of fun with that series, though, won't you, Mr. Seattle Mariners and Cleveland Guardians fan?
Shut up. All right.
Hey, it's the same thing when the Orioles play the Guardians. I have my dual fandom citizenship here.
All right. Well, we're about 5 minutes short of 3 hours, but oh well,
Yep.
we're whatever. Again, if you liked this video, make sure you punch that subscribe button like a UFC fighter. Hit that like button with the Judas effect, courtesy of Chris Jericho.
And
And
don't
hit-
forget to curb stomp that
Notification bell.
like you're Seth freaking Rollins.
Or you can just hit it with a spear, courtesy of not the rated R superstar, but
Edge.
Nope.
No,
Nope.
Roman.
Nope.
Braun Breaker. Bobby Lashley.
Roman. Bye.
Ew.